I don't even think I can do intros anymore, man. Seriously.
Brilliant. Oh my God. This club.
This club, man. This club.
Did you watch the Conte interview this morning?
You know what? I went to sleep watching it last night. I went to sleep on my phone, and I woke up. The Conte interview was just playing in my hands. I woke up. I went to sleep watching it, and I woke up watching it. I fell asleep with my phone in my hand.
It's been on repeat. You were dreaming about it as well.
Exactly, and the words ringing as true as ever right now. Obviously, we all know what happened last night. It looks as though Thomas Frank is on the brink, and exactly as Mark M says in the comments, here we go again. It looks as though Spurs are going to be forced to make a change. Whether that change is going to come now, next week, the week after, or the week after that, we're still left in the dark right now. But yeah, look, it looks like a change is imminent, really.
It's when, not if, isn't it?
Yeah.
At this point, he could get another game. Maybe we get given the Burnley game, but this guy ain't lasting. When you're at the point where, with each bad result, it's like a referendum on your tenure at the moment. It's only, even if he survives this somehow, it's looking more and more unlikely as time passes. Even if he beats Burnley, one more bad result, and all of a sudden we're back where we are. So yeah,
and when you've got games that we've got coming up, then you just can't see anything other than that. Just quickly, because a lot of journalists have been chiming in on the Thomas Frank situation. Fabrizio Romano says that Frank's job is at serious risk. Internal talks are taking place at Tottenham. And Sammy Mockbell says that Thomas Frank losing internal support at Tottenham as the club consider calling time on his 7-month reign. At least one club executive has actively recommended for his dismissal. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, I don't know if this is the way it is in the boardroom, but in my mind, it feels as though the boardroom are probably actively seeking Thomas Frank to leave, but I think the ones that are hanging on for dear life are probably Vinay and Lang. Those are the guys that are probably wanting to keep him in the job.
But again, it just goes to show how much of a mess it is in that boardroom, because on Friday, they had a big kind of, reporting from journalists from inside the club that they're backing Thomas Frank. They want to do things in a calm and considered manner. They're not going to rush to any decision. They even said that West Ham is not considered a must-win game for Thomas Frank. They're backing him, all this kind of stuff. We were saying in the preview, if we do lose, will they make an emotional decision? Will that sway them, or are they going to stick to their guns? And we were saying maybe if it's a heavy defeat, maybe that would be, if it's like a bad result or a draw, maybe they just stick to their guns. But it seems as though that defeat is rocked them. And obviously, I think the main thing is the whole stadium chanting, "You're getting sacked in the morning." When that starts happening, and they also know that it's only a matter of time before the true attention starts going their way. Right now, it's that they're chanting that in the stadium is mainly directed toward Thomas Frank, even though there was a protest against the board before the game. Obviously, it was small numbers in the stadium, clearly directed towards Thomas Frank. But it's only a matter of time. The longer they keep Frank in a job, the tension's going to turn their way sooner rather than later. So I think that's rocked them. We've seen as well, there's a video circulating about a fan confronting Vivian Lewis after the game. That's probably affected, she's probably thinking, oh shit, I'm getting shit now, walking around the stadium. Like, we've got to make a change here. I think they're starting to panic. They're starting to think, okay, this is completely gone wrong. And I think before the game, they were probably thinking, we're not going to change this. This is going to be, we're sticking with it even if we don't get the result. But I think the reaction to what's happened has led them to this thinking like, okay, this is now a line that's probably got to be drawn here. I think something desperately needs to happen because we're at a very, very low ebb here, and we're starting to get the blame. People are starting to turn to ENIC, and I think that's probably led them to look at the situation and think, okay, this can't go on.
I also feel it's a really bad look when you've got Vinay and Lang at the helm of making footballing decisions. That's their role in the football club, to make footballing decisions. And, they're the ones that hired Frank. They're the ones that wanted to stick by him and stick through the bad times. And ultimately, it looks like it's not going to be their decision to sack him when they're the ones actually supposed to be making the footballing decisions.
Who knows? who knows who's making the decisions here? Is it a vote? Does someone get the final say? It's hard to really know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's an absolute mess. And I think the fact that I think it also shows how incompetent, from a footballing perspective, they are when they're constantly pumping out the message that they're backing him, and now all of a sudden they've been really shaken by this result. But it's like it shouldn't have taken this one result for them to realise that there's a high possibility that this isn't working here.
But I genuinely believe it's not even like the result has shaken a lot of people in that boardroom. Yeah, but we've heard even before this result, there had been people in that boardroom that had wanted Frank to go already. And this result has been kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back in that situation. But I genuinely believe if those voices were not in the boardroom, Vinay and Lang would want to stick it through and stick by it. So that's worrying in its own sense. You know what I mean? So...
Well, I think at this point, they're starting to look at they should be anyway, starting to look at their own position, thinking, what if, we're backing this guy, we're basically saying he's going to be our Arteta, quote unquote. This is going to be the guy we're backing through all the shit times, and hopefully something good comes out of it. But the longer this goes on, their job's surely got to come under scrutiny, because if they're the ones backing it and saying, no, the right course of action is to back him, then surely they have to get some accountability there.
Well, they should be thinking about it. Well, what does my opinion even hold here? Like, where like, for their own kind of merit, being like, look, the club are not listening to me here anyway. So what's the point of me being here? From both sides.
They are listening because he's still here.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they sack him today, and Vinay...
We don't really know for sure.
We don't know for sure, but we know that Vinay, has stuck with Arteta before, and we know that the message coming out from the club, which I suppose is from them, saying we want to stick by them, we want to stick through it. So, look, I don't know for sure, and I don't know for certain the conversations that have been held behind closed doors, but if I was to hazard a guess, I would say that Vinay probably does want to stick through this.
Well, a few weeks ago, maybe even a month, I can't remember when it was, but I said they should be looking at alternatives already. I know it's not really good for a manager to be in charge of a football club when the hierarchy is already sounding out alternatives and sounding out replacements. But I said if they were serious, the way things are going, they should be weighing up alternatives at the very least, because there's a very good possibility that this won't last even the season. And it seems as though they haven't considered it. They haven't considered that this guy is not going to last the full season, and they've in their mind they're like, okay, we're going to back him. This is going to be our guy. And now we've had this awful result off the back of what's been a horrendous Premier League season, and this is obviously the rock bottom. We're losing at home to an 18th place West Ham, who are winless in 10 games, an inner London derby. It's an absolute diabolical result, no two ways about it. And it seems though off the back of this result, they're like, okay, we might need to change it. But you should have been considering that a long time ago, because now where are we? We're in an absolute mess, because if they sack him, we're in a mess. If they keep him, we're in a mess. There's no real long-term answer, I think, that we can get during this window, unless something really special happens and you can convince Xavi Alonso to come. I don't really see an alternative that's going to appease the fan base who's going to be here for the long term. Interim wise, there aren't. I mean, United have installed a Carrick, but who can we really install that can maybe get the fans on side very quickly? Who's maybe a popular figure? Could it be a Robbie Keane? Would Ryan Mason be that? I don't think so. I think we've had enough of Mason being in charge as interim. Robbie Keane's doing a decent job, but some people said, could you do a Robbie Keane, Jermaine Defoe co-manager for
Robbie Keane has got a full-time manager's job. Why would he come just for a few months?
Because it puts him if he does a good job, puts him in the shop window a bit. Look at Van Nistelrooy. He was in charge for, I know he failed at Leicester, but he was in charge for 5 games at United, and he got a Premier League job off the back of it. So it puts you in the shop window. If you come in and do a good job, even if it's just for a short amount of time, all of a sudden people start looking like, oh, he got some results in the Premier League, maybe it's worth giving him a job. Look at Mason, just the pure fact that he was interim here probably got him a West Brom job. So I think, yes, it's great he's doing it for Ferencváros, but Premier League is a lot more attention. All of a sudden, if you've got ambitions, maybe he gets a championship job off the back of being at Tottenham. You know what I mean?
He actually spoke about that recently, about would he consider managing in the Championship right now, and he says where he is right now is much better than being in the Championship. So yeah. I don't even think that he's managing in European football right now with Ferencváros, and I know he was saying people sniff up their nose at these kind of leagues, but He said he's delighted with where he is. Obviously, he would say that whilst being manager there, but he didn't seem like he's interested in going to manage in the Championship, and he wants to carry on kind of proving his name in the managerial world, and he's doing a very good job. So, look, I get what you're saying, and it does put him in the shop window, but...
Well, it might not be Keane. I'm not sold.
I don't think Keane is a starter, to be honest. I'd love to see it. I think it would be like a feel-good appointment if we got Robbie Keane in on a 6-month deal, whatever. But I just don't think that's a viable option. You've got people like Ryan Mason, like you said. We've got Johnny Heitinga that has just come in as assistant manager to Thomas Frank, and it looks like they might only work one game together. Yeah. Heitinga obviously was manager at Ajax this season, didn't go very well for him, got sacked in November. He was number 2 for Arne Slot last season. He's definitely a viable candidate. Matt Wells should have held on for a few more. He should have held on for a few more months, because he probably would have got the role. You know, you've got people like Jurgen Klinsmann. You know, he came in as a player back in the 90s and has saved us from relegation. Can he do the same as a manager? You know, obviously it went horribly wrong for him in the South Korea job. In the USA job, I can't remember how it went for him there, but he's got to be considered, someone like Jurgen Klinsmann.
I guess so. We're that desperate at the moment in terms of what direction it goes to if we have made this decision with Frank, and I think that has to be made, because I feel like it's unfair even at the moment to keep him in a job, in a sense that if he's in the charge in the dugout for Dortmund and it doesn't go well, which is highly likely that that's going to happen given our injuries and whatever, you're basically throwing him to the wolves. You got the whole stadium chanting for him to be sacked, and you're basically keeping him in place, and all the eye is going to be on him, and it's almost unfair to kind of keep him in the job with all of that. Obviously, he would argue, you know, if I get a result or a good performance, and all of a sudden that can turn very quickly. But I think for me,
Ozzy Ardiles just sitting there.
Ozzy Ardiles. Someone said Jermaine Defoe. He was a coach at Tottenham. I mean, are there any former players out there who are currently coaches who, you know, you think could maybe do the job for a bit? It's tough to say. It's tough to say what direction. Maybe it is just Heitinga. I was looking at his Ajax job, and it was really horrific in terms of results. That, you know, the underlying numbers as well. It seemed like they were getting battered every week as well. And this is an Ajax team that should be, you know, performing well in the Dutch league, and they just weren't. So, him being in the role, even as an interim, isn't exactly an exciting thought. Someone says Ralph Ragnick. And there have been suggestions.
What about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Ole?
Ole at the wheel?
I think it only worked at United because he's a legend. Like I don't know. Like, and he had the respect there. Like, I think if he's gonna come here, I don't think he's gonna get the same respect, in my opinion. So I think you need someone, if you're going down the interim route in terms of just on the pure vibes, and Ole would be just for vibes. And I think you need someone who's loved here, and I think that needs to be a former player who everyone could get behind, and who everyone's going to back, and people aren't going to turn on. People saying Harry Redknapp. Would you take Harry Redknapp as an interim?
Yeah, I probably would take it. I would take it. We're in desperate times right now. We do need a kind of experience. I know we're looking at interims.
79 years old.
I know, but we kind of just need someone.
When was the last time he managed?
The last time he managed was at QPR. Well, he went to Jordan for a little bit.
Jordan, yeah, it's a long time ago you're talking about. 2016, 17. It's a long time ago, and he's been out of management. Is he going to be up to scratch with, how modern day clubs manage all data science, medical science, sports science, all that kind of stuff? Do we need that? Maybe we don't need that. Maybe we just need someone who's going to go, run around a bit, just go attack, have a shot, have a go.
We
just need that.
I think as well, what we need right now is someone just to instill a bit of belief in these players again, because their confidence looks shot to pieces. They look lost on the pitch, to be honest. And I think, tactics are great and all the modern stuff is great and everything, but I feel that we do need someone just to come in and just to perk them up a little bit. And Harry could be the guy for the job.
Maybe. I mean, it's absolute dire straits at the moment, and this is my point about the board, the hierarchy. This is the position that we've been left in now, because they haven't been thinking ahead. I think they've kind of been burying their heads in the sand a bit about Thomas Frank and about how it's been going, and now it's kind of hit them like a punch in the face, almost like a ton of bricks. This result and where we're at. I think the fan base have known it's not been working for a while, but they've been kind of very much on we're backing him. They're kind of ignoring all the outside voices. But now it's like this result has just smacked them in the face, and that fan reaction has absolutely smacked them in the face. And now they're scrambling, and now they're like, "What do we do? Do we make a change? Now we have to make big decisions." Blah blah blah. But they should have been planning for this a long time ago, because this was always where it was heading, how we were playing, and the results we were getting. That it was only going to head in this direction. And as I've said with previous managers, when they go through difficulty, they've always had credit in the bank for one reason or another, or they've had some legs to stand on, or some reasons to think it's going to turn around, it's going to get better, or there's reason to believe in these managers, that we've stuck with before. But with Thomas Frank, there's just none of that. You don't have his managerial career really to bank on, because the best he's ever achieved with Brentford is 9th. And yes, he overperformed with them, but the football he played was never particularly exciting. He never got close to winning any trophies or anything like that. He's not a winner. He doesn't have that experience. He's never really had a fantastic run of form as Tottenham manager to show this is what I'm capable of or anything like that. He's never got us playing football that Tottenham fans are going to be happy with. He doesn't have the personality that Tottenham fans can really connect with, or that he doesn't speak like he's managing a top 6 club. The football that we're playing is absolutely dire, and it's not been attractive even when we've been at our best. It's been maybe effective at our best, but it's never been attractive or something that we enjoy watching. He makes excuse after excuse for why we're playing the way we are and the form that we're in. I think there's just nothing at the moment to look at and think this is going to get any better, or this is a guy to throw your hat in the ring with or throw your chips behind. There's nothing to suggest that. So for me, even like he could turn around and we could beat Burnley 1-0 away from home and get a win, and yes, it's a massive game, but there's nothing to suggest that that's going to be a turning point or anything like that. We were talking to Sky Sports earlier, and he was like, we were talking to the reporter, and he was saying, that Burnley game's now massive. I'm like, this game was massive. This is it. Like, that loss has done it for him. I don't think that Burnley game's even massive anymore. We've had that moment already. Even if he wins the Burnley game, I don't think that even matters anymore.
He's not even going to get the Burnley game.
He won't get it, but even if he was in charge and won it,
look, the damage is done.
That's my point. The damage is done. It's not massive anymore. It's beyond that now.
Well, it's still massive, but like the damage is done. And I think like if anyone was coming into the West Ham game being like apprehensive about Thomas Frank and thinking, or even saying give him till the end of the season, like I've been saying all season, it's just like that West Ham game for a lot of fans is the straw that broke the camel's back. And I think his job is completely untenable after that result and after that performance. We cannot keep going the way we're going, because if we're going the way we're going, we are genuinely in a genuine chart of getting relegated this season. Like, that's not even hyperbolic. That is not even like crazy to talk about. It's just the reality that we're in right now. We're 10 points above West Ham. We've got Burnley next, who, there's no given that we're going to go up there and win. So let's say we get a point there and West Ham get a point. All right, fine, 10 points or maybe even less. After that, we are playing Newcastle, we are playing Arsenal, we are playing Man U, we are playing Man City. If we keep him in the job, that's 4 losses.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much certain.
Considering how we played against him before.
I'm pretty certain those are going to be 4 losses, right? So there's a genuine chance that gap in 5 games' time is going to be a lot closer than 10 points. Mm-hmm. So, and we've even got hard games coming up after those, the next 5 games. So if we keep Thomas Frank in a job, there is a genuine chance of relegation, or a genuine chance of being in a relegation battle. If we make the change, there's probably still a realistic chance of it and being embroiled in a relegation clash, but at least it's something different. At least it gives us a bit of a fighting chance, because we know what we're in with Thomas Frank right now. We know the way we're playing, and we know the results that we're getting. 2 wins, I think, in the last 15 games. We need a massive change right now, right here, right now, to have any chance of saving somewhat. Like, look, I said yesterday, if we kind of make a chance and go on a bit of good form, European football is still salvageable. But I'm not even looking at that right now. I'm looking at survival. I'm genuinely looking at survival. Like, that's how crazy it's got.
Yeah, and we just need to change the vibes at this place. We need something. Something has to change. The hierarchy ain't going anywhere. We can complain all we want and do protests, and that's absolutely fine, and we should be doing that, but they're not going anywhere, especially in the short term. They're not going to go anywhere until they get an offer and they sell. So that ain't going to change. We're not going to do a fire sale in January. We're not going to change the squad in January. It's just not going to happen as much as people might want that. And it might be necessary. I'll debate whatever, but that ain't going to happen in January. There's only one thing we can change, and that is the manager. Yeah. And I think he's, when it comes to being on the pitch and how we're performing, he's the number one problem, in my opinion, how we're setting up and how we're approaching games, how the players, their lack of belief in him as well. That's obviously a massive thing as well. Like, the players don't seem to vibe with him. They don't seem to believe in what he's trying to do. And I don't know if Frank as well seems to be burying his head in the sand when he speak to him, when he's listened to him in press conferences. Oh, we're closer to turning it around than we are further away. Like, what are you? Oh, he goes, it might sound deluded, but we're very, very close to something special. Like, what are you on about? What are you talking? Are you watching the same games we're watching? We are dreadful. We got thoroughly, I'm not even talking about it was a close game, we were thoroughly outplayed in that first half against one of the worst West Ham teams the Premier League has seen.
They were popping the ball around us.
Mad.
We made them look so good yesterday. This average Tin Pot West Ham team.
Worse than average. They're shocking. Yeah. They're terrible. They lost 3-0 to Wolves.
It's mad. It's absolutely mad. In the last 3 weeks, they've lost to Wolves 3-0. They've lost to Nottingham Forest, 2 massive games for them in terms of the relegation battle. And they come to Tottenham and they take a win and they look like the best version of West Ham we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years. It's crazy.
And Frank is coming out with just like, look, we could have won this game 2-1. Everything's fine, basically. We're very close to turning it around. We're on to something special. And then you've got Romero coming out in his interview saying this was a disaster today. And that's really what the truth is, yet Frank is trying to portray something very, very different, and it's almost as if he's either deluded, he's either just trying to save his skin by saying these things, or he's burying his head in the sand of the problems that we're seeing on the pitch. Everyone can see what is happening on that football pitch, and it is absolute dross. It is awful, and yet Frank is, I don't know if he's trying to gaslight us with what he's saying. I'm sorry. In the press conference before the game, he's saying, last 6-7 games it's been better. I'm looking at the games that last 6-7 games. That includes games against Brentford, that we were absolutely diabolical. Forest, which we were absolutely outplayed. That includes games like Villa, where in that first half, I know in the second half we tried to bring it back, but first half we were absolutely outplayed, and the game was done in that first half. Those are the kind of games he's talking about, where he includes in a run of games where, we were apparently a bit better and we were showing consistently good performance. Like, what are you talking about? It boggles the mind, some of the stuff he says. Before, he was saying we haven't had 2 bad games in a row. What is he talking about? That stuff should, in itself, if that's either he's lying or that really tells you the mindset of what of how he interprets what he's seeing on the pitch. If that is how he interprets it, that's in itself got to show you that either he thinks this is a good way of approaching football, and we expect to see more of what we're seeing, or he thinks that he's managing a mid-table team, and he thinks he's managing a team that if we finish 13th or 14th or whatever, we're going to be happy with that because it's an improvement on last season, and that's what he's used to when he was at Brentford. It is no way to be talking about or thinking about managing a top 6 team. When you think about what happened yesterday, no other response other than that was utterly unacceptable what I'm seeing, and we're going to strive to be a lot better than what we've seen, and we're going to work every day and work every minute to be a hell of a lot better than what we're seeing. That is the only response we should be hearing from him, not that, we could have won this game 2-1, we're so close to turning it around, look how good we're doing, we're improving. Remember last season we finished 17th. I'm just done with him. I'm done with his rhetoric, I'm done with his football, and I'm done with this manager.
Yeah, and I think the sentiment is pretty much the same across large sections of the fan base. I didn't speak to one person yesterday. I didn't think Frank should go in. And in fact, the club should have given him the Martin Yole treatment after that first half yesterday. Literally, that was a sackable offence on its own, that first half performance against that shocking West Ham side. Literally, he should have been handed that P45 inside the dressing room at half-time yesterday. The great Martin Yole, who did such great things for this football club, got sacked at half-time against Getafe for a lot less than what Frank has been showing so far this season at Tottenham Hotspur. So I'm sorry, but he should have been given the sack at half-time yesterday. It's actually a joke that we're still sitting here at nearly 4 p.m. the next day after the fact, and after what we've seen pretty much all season, that we haven't had that club announcement yet. The club announcement has to be imminent. We have to see the end of this reign of terror of this football club. And, you know, I have been trying to find positives, trying to put a positive spin on it pretty much all season, trying to put my trust in the guy. But at some point, it's got to come to an end. And yesterday was really like, look, I've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks, I don't think this guy is the answer at this football club, but I'm willing to give it time till the end of the season. But I just can't anymore. It's got to come to an end. And I'm like you. You're probably even more sick and tired because you've been calling it for a long time. But
even when we were winning, I was saying.
I know you were, and I'm just look. It's got to come to an end. It's really got to come to an end. And I'm sick and tired of hearing all this stuff about the playing staff and about they're not good enough and we are where we're supposed to be and all this kind of crap and what do you expect the manager to do with these kind of players? Like, what do you mean? What do you expect the manager to do with this kind of players? Are you telling me man for man we've got a worse team than West Ham? You're telling me man for man we've got a like for like team against Brentford and Nottingham Forest and all these kind of clubs? Like, no, like we've got a team that can be doing a lot better than what we're showing right now. And I'm drawing a lot of similarities to what I'm seeing under the AVB and Tim Sherwood era, right? Tim Sherwood, after that 4-0 loss to West Ham, got off in his press conference or his post-match interview, said, you know, I see a lot of players that, you know, don't want to fight for the cause. You know, that whole speech that he gave.
I ain't going to forget about this when we get down the
Exactly. You know, he said all that speech. And I remember the fan rhetoric at the time was saying these players are nowhere near good enough. These players, you know, we need a whole change of the playing staff and blah, 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 blah. Same as what we're seeing now. What happened after that? Pochettino came in. And what did Pochettino do? He made some of those players that were in that team, the Hugo Llorises, the Jan Vertonghen's and the rest of them, he made them stars. And the players that were not good enough and the players that were past their sell-by date at the club, they were weaned out slowly and we were upgraded on them. That's exactly what needs to happen now. You know, there are some players at this football club that can be made stars, but there obviously are positions in this club and this squad that need to be upgraded, and we need to move them on, and we need to see a regeneration in the playing style in those certain positions. But I do think we're in a very similar position to what we were then to what we are now.
I guess the difference is back then we had a lot of aging players. We had a lot of players who were at the wrong end of their career. Now it's a bit different. A lot of our players are either peak age or very, very young. We don't really have too many, apart from Ben Davies. How many players do we actually have who are over 30? Paulinho, maybe he's 30.
Yeah, but he's only on loan as well.
He's only on loan. Like, there's not too many players, but there's
But regardless of age, though, there is still key areas on the pitch where you can see, you know, we need massive upgrading.
Absolutely.
That's the point I'm trying to make. But there are key members of this playing staff which can be stars under the right management. Mm-hmm. That's the point I'm trying to make, you know, in terms of the makeup of the squad, in terms of where we're at as a squad, it's not too dissimilar.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? If I'd seen Frank approach games in a different way, if I'd seen basically him try to play a style of football that I can get behind, but it's just not working because the players aren't good enough. And, you know, if I could see, if we upgrade on this player or that player, you know, then we could definitely be a much better team, and there's something I can get behind. That would be different. But the way Frank sets us up and the way he approaches games, our only method of attack is get out wide to Porro and swing crosses in. He swung in 24 crosses yesterday.
On his own,
just Porro yesterday. 24 crosses. That is evidence of exactly what our method of attack is under this manager. Get the ball to Porro and swing it in. And not only that, only have one striker in the penalty area. Make the centre mids drop back a bit. Don't allow them to get into the box because you're scared of counter attacks. It is a losing strategy. It's a strategy only befitted of a team that's looking to stay up. It is not the strategy of a team that is wanting to be one of the best teams in the league and wanting to kick on. Whether you think we are at that level or not is irrelevant. That is what we have to strive to be. That is what the aim has to be. And that is what you have to imprint on the team. That is a style of play. That is what you have to try. And then when you see it's not working, then you upgrade on what's not working. You get, okay, how do we get this football to work? I don't want this football to work from Frank. I'm sorry, I'm sick of it. I'm not interested in watching what he's got to offer. It is dull. It is boring. It is pragmatic. It is completely against the ethos of the club. And I don't understand people like, it's because he's got the bad players. I don't really care. He should be striving to be where we want to be. That is how he should be setting us up. And if it fails, then you work on how we can get it to work. You don't just go, okay, so we're just going to defend, we're going to drop everyone back, we're not going to put any players in the penalty box, and we're just going to spam crosses, and then we're going to play in a low block when the team have the ball. West Ham had us in a low block in that first half, and we couldn't get out because we have no out ball. It is shocking. It is shocking the way he's got us set up, and he's literally taken what he did at Brentford and he's tried to plug and play at a big club like Tottenham and expected it to work.
It's actually a lot better and more pleasing on the eye at Brentford than it is here.
Nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And people saying, people always call me out and say, yeah, you gave Ange time, blah, blah, because of what I'm saying. At least he tried to play like a big club. Now, don't get me wrong, it went wrong, and I understand that, and I understand why they sacked him. But that we should have brought a manager who tries to play dominant football, control the game with the ball, front foot football. That is the style of football Tottenham fans want to see. And I've got no interest in Thomas Frank's football. Absolutely none. I've never seen a fan base so checked out. You can't give tickets away at the moment. No one is interested in going to the stadium. You go, but 20 minutes before the game, people are offering tickets for free. No one taking them. No one. Everyone's like, no, thanks, I'm all right. First of all, I'd rather not watch it at all, but people would rather watch it at home. I was talking to my friend last night who was at the game. He said he was in the East Stand. He was talking to everyone around him. No one wanted to be there, he said. This is before the game even started. He said no one really wanted to be there. He said he was thinking about going to the cup game. He's like, why should I spend another 70, 80 quid? I'm just going to watch it at home. I'm not interested in going at the moment. It's so bad. He's like, I only went today because I've got a season ticket, so I guess I should go.
Is that Skinhead Dave?
It is Skinhead Dave, yeah. He's like, I got a season ticket, I guess I should go, he said. But other than that, he's like, no one around. No one wants to be watching this football. And I think I can't it's irrelevant to me about what people say about the players, about how good or bad they are. There's good arguments to say that we don't have good enough players. I understand that. But first of all, they're not as bad as what we're saying now. But it's more about what Frank is trying to do with these players. I've got no interest.
The reality is a good manager elevates. He elevates the playing staff, he elevates the club, he talks the club up in press conferences, and he elevates everything to do around the club. Everything Thomas Frank has done is the polar opposite to that. He's talked the club down, he's talked the fans down, he's made the players worse than they actually are. So that's where we're at right now. And if a change isn't made today, then I genuinely really fear for the rest of the season, because if they don't sack him today, when are they going to sack him? They're going to wait until we lose to Dortmund? They're going to wait till we lose to Burnley? They're going to wait until the North London derby, till we get embarrassed in another North London derby?
Yeah,
seriously, they need to. The announcement should have come already. The announcement should have come last night. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is ridiculous. You've got Sky Sports camped out Hotspur Way, waiting for some news to come, which everyone's in the dark about. What are they waiting for? Please tell me what they're waiting for, because this is as much as an untenable situation as I've seen before at this football club.
When you're already at the stage where they're at now, which is, we're deciding, we're not sure, it's indecision.
Yeah, exactly. So make the decision.
At that point, you're too far gone already. Because if you're already thinking that way, as I've said before, one more bad result, and then you're like, okay, this has got to change now. So if you're already there, just make the decision. Like step up.
Not even make the decision, because the decision's probably already made. You need to just push the button. Just push the button, because you know the decision's going to come at some point.
I feel like they're still probably hesitating. Like they're still like, yeah, we want to back him. We want to do there's still probably voices, pro-Frank voices in that boardroom trying to push for. We need to give him time. And I think when you're already in a loggerheads there, if there's no full backing behind the scenes, and we already seen that Paratici, he's already wanted him gone, and now he's left, and apparently he's frustrated that Frank's been in the job. Like, if you've already got that conflict behind the scenes, that means it's doomed to failure anyway. It's never going to work. So you've just got to make the change.
Yeah, I completely agree. But we're still sitting here and no change has been made, no button has been pressed, and
there's rumblings, but nothing.
Yeah, we heard there was a meeting at Hotspur Way this morning. Vinay was there and everything.
We heard Vinay got there at 9 a.m.
But what's he been doing from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m?
Drafting a statement, hopefully.
How long does it take? Just make the statement and put it out, and let's move on with our lives.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, for anyone that thinks, Ollie Glasner's about to get sacked at Crystal Palace, it seems, for his
apparently they're keeping him, they said.
Oh, they're keeping him?
Yeah, that's what
Because I think if anyone thinks Ollie Glasner is the answer, it's the same flawed thinking that hired Thomas Frank, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So Ollie Glasner is not the answer for Tottenham Hotspur.
But that's also a part of it that maybe should be getting more attention is whoever was in charge of that 30-point plan or whatever bullshit PR they want to spread when they hired Thomas Frank about how many points they had to meet or whatever it was, 100 points or whatever crap they spread. Whoever was in charge of that, whoever headed that up, whoever was involved in that process has to be sacked, has to be held accountable, because it was an absolute bullshit process with absolutely no thinking whatsoever. They had no idea what they were doing. Whoever was in charge of that clearly doesn't have a good grasp on football or football, like actual football knowledge or anything like that. They have to be held accountable, because I don't want them anywhere near the decision to hire the next manager, because they don't know what they're doing. They look at things on a base level. We need people who have deep knowledge of football. It's almost like we need a third-party analyst, like who's different to the analysts we have, like for the manager, like an analyst who's in charge higher up, like with the hierarchy, to analyse what's really going on. Because it's all well and good looking at the results, looking from a base level when you're a businessman and whatever, and you're making the decision, what's really going on the pitch. We need someone who truly knows football, truly knows what can tell the story of what's really going on the pitch to make those decisions. Because I truly believe if they had a football analyst watch Brentford games and watch what Frank was doing at Brentford, they would have told them, this isn't right for this football club. This is not the right decision to go down. He doesn't play the football that we want to see played at Spurs. But because all they did was look at the goal scores column and look at the results and look at the wage budget he was overperforming, they came to the conclusion, yeah, this is the guy that's the right fit for us. But I'm sorry, that is just so surface level. We need deeper thinking. That's why Brighton are getting it right, because they know exactly what they want. They know who plays that kind of football. They have real people in charge who have a deep understanding of all these different things, and they have an unbelievable scouting department as well. I think Brentford as well, they know exactly what they want, and they have a very clear understanding from the hierarchy, not just the management, from the hierarchy of what exactly they are looking for. At this club, the level of football knowledge and thinking from the higher ups is absolute garbage, and I think it's been proven by this appointment. It's been proving how they've managed this situation with him, the fact that they haven't thought ahead about maybe we should start thinking about a change, and now they're panicking. I think the whole thing is absolute mess.
Yeah. And the people that were ahead of that process were Daniel Levy, who's gone now, Vinay Venkatesham, who's obviously top dog CEO at the football club now, and he's the one to answer to. Johan Lang, who I genuinely don't know what Johan Lang has done at this football club in a positive light, apart from bringing a few youngsters that are good for the future. Johan Lang went into Aston Villa, and they just went down and down and down and down. And as soon as he was relieved of his duties, well, first of all, he was downgraded at the club, and then he was relieved of his duties at Aston Villa, and then you saw an upward trajectory from the people that they brought in there. I think it was Monchi that came in. Mm-hmm. And he's come in here, and things have only got worse and worse and worse since Johan Lang has come to the club. Like, what have these guys done to warrant the position that they've got at Tottenham Hotspur?
Also,
seriously, what have they done?
Nothing. Lang needs to go. Get rid of him, get someone else in. I think Vinay, either he can stay and not have any involvement in any footballing decisions, because I do think he's a good communicator, albeit he hasn't communicated enough. He did write this thing.
The statement was decent, but like it's all
on Friday.
But I'm sick of hearing words. Yeah. I'm sick of hearing words from this football club. Like, how many times have we seen these kind of statements from Daniel Levy? We haven't seen it in that kind of way, but we've heard at the end of seasons, we need to be better, we need to do this, we need to do that, blah, blah, blah. Cry me a river. Go and show me some action. Go and show me some action. There is never any action at this football club. All we hear is PR jargon, PR words that fall deaf on many people's ears because no one wants to hear it anymore. People want to see action in place, and there's never action in place at this football club. There is never anyone that is held accountable. All it is sack manager, hire manager. It's always the manager's fault, and we move on. Exactly. That's all it is.
I think when I talk about Frank being set up to fail, if people make that argument, I don't think he has when it comes to the playing staff, but I do think he has by him being appointed and then asked to be a manager that he isn't, or thinking we're expecting him to be a manager that he isn't. He was never the right fit for this football club from day one. And from that point of view, he was set up to fail because it was always doomed for the fans to have backlash in the way that he's playing. So I think from that point of view, I do feel sorry for Frank because we've appointed him, we've given him his big opportunity, but we're asking him to do things that it just isn't him. That isn't his style. That's never how he's done things, and that was always doomed to fail from the start because Tottenham fans were never going to take to that kind of football, in my opinion. So from that point of view, he has been doomed to fail. In terms of the playing staff, in terms of the transfer window he's had, we were saying that someone knows Tottenham managers probably had a better transfer window in recent history. Maybe it says more about our windows than actual how good the players were he signed. But he did get 5 starters. He got 1 starter in January. Although he's only played 1 game, but he's got 1 start in January. And in the summer he got Paulinho, he got Javi Simmons, he got Mohamed Kudus. He did get players to improve this team. So I don't think it's fair to say when it comes to in terms of the club backing him and doomed to fail from that point of view. I do think he's got more than enough players to do something on the pitch with what he's got. I don't believe he's been set up to fail from the signings point of view or club backing point of view, but I do think he's been doomed to fail and set up to fail by him being appointed in a role that's just completely not suited to him, and it was never the right fit.
You know what though? Like, manager change or no manager change, anyone coming into this football club, it could be Pep Guardiola, they are on a hiding to nothing going on for the rest of the season. Look at the injury crisis that we're in, you know? How is any manager expected to come in and get instant results? I don't think any manager can come in and get instant results. We've got hardly any midfielders left. We've got forwards that can't hit a barn door. We've got defenders, not many defenders left either. So, I mean, like, what are we supposed to do? Like, what manager is even supposed to come here and change our fortunes in terms of results?
I don't know. We just need a manager who's going to be positive and try and be on the front foot and try and get us believing in the team again. Because right now, there is no belief from anyone in the fan base, and it seems as though seems as though there's less belief every moment from the hierarchy. But I agree. I do have a bit of sympathy for Frank right now, in the sense that the injury crisis is very deep, and we've lost potentially another 2 injuries yesterday. We know Ben Davies went down, Archie Gray. He's potentially picked up a knock at half-time. That's forced him out. When you look at the Champions League squad, Basuma, Solanke, Dragoshin, Gallagher, all can't play in the Champions League, so they're going to be unavailable for Tuesday. At the moment, if Paulinho is not back, we only have Bergvall as a fit centre mid, and maybe Sarr if he's back from AFCON, but that's going to,
have to rush him back.
You have to rush him back.
He hasn't get him back on a Concorde.
Sorry?
Need to get him back on a Concorde.
Exactly. He hasn't played much, but still, I think in a perfect scenario, you probably want to give him at least a week break before coming back into the fold, but needs must at the moment, I guess. So you've got Lucas Bergvall and you've got Pape Sarr for Tuesday. That is it. So any manager coming in has got an absolute horrible hand to play. So when it comes to immediate results, it's going to be tough. But hopefully, if we can... I don't know. I find it tough to see us getting a permanent manager right now. Anyway, even in the best of times. So, well,
there's 2 clear options for if we want to hire a permanent manager now. That's either Javi or Maresca.
Yeah,
those are the only 2.
Yeah, and I don't see either of them coming because I think Maresca's waiting for City. Because I think Pep, that job might open up. I know there's rumours of that. And Alonso's waiting for Liverpool because that job might open up. So I think both of them are going to look at Tottenham and say, no, thanks, but no thanks. That's probably the scenario. Hopefully, look, maybe they can sit down and say, look, we got the transfer budget. We do have money available. If you come here, there will be players looking at this project and saying, actually, this is something I do want to join. It's, it's a challenge for you. You'll be seen as a go, turn Tottenham around. That, you're going to be given all the resources you want. You're going to get the full back, and we're going to give you time. We're going to give you as much time as you need. This is, this is a project we can sell you on. You're in London. Imagine you do well with Tottenham. What a extraordinary achievement that would be. Maybe you could sell it to him in that way, but I think at the moment he's still going to be looking at Liverpool's my heart, and I'm going to wait for that job, or I'm going to wait till the summer. Then again, there is no guarantee that opens up, albeit it looks likely at the moment. And with Maresca, City is City. If they come calling, he's there.
I'll tell you to what level the stadium turned yesterday, yeah? Because everyone heard the chants on TV. I saw the drummer at the end of the game walking down the stairs, drumming to fans singing, "You're sacked in the morning. You're getting sacked in the morning." How mad is that?
Did it have the microphone on the dome?
But he was literally drumming to it. And I saw him at half time and I had a quick chat with him and he was just like, "I am done, man. I am done. Frank has got to go."
I saw him tweet yesterday saying, "Ange back, season 3.
Yeah.
That's where
you know what? Everything that I've given to Ange over the past year, I'll take him back right now. I really
Ange
would.
back in a heartbeat. Yeah, he wouldn't come on as interim though, would he?
No.
He won promises that he's here for at least.
He definitely ain't coming for a relegation battle, I'll tell you that, even though he finished 17th last season. But he would, he would let us get relegated to go try win the Champions League.
Yeah, God. It is a mess. It is a mess, and I don't really know what we do now. I mean, I know one thing that needs to happen is Frank gone, but apart from after that, I understand the fans saying, because that hasn't changed, that feeling of what the hell do we do now if and when we do sack Frank, what direction do we go in? It is really up in the air. I think the only suggestion that everyone's kind of on board with, that can kind of get all the fans mostly behind, is an interim till the summer and then getting Poch, and that seems something that's realistic and fans can get behind.
That seems like the only realistic option that we actually have.
But whether there's that is the right move, it wouldn't be my first choice in terms of, I love Poch and I would like to see him get another crack at the whip and see how he does. But when it comes to him being at the forefront of managerial appointments at the moment and him being in the elite category, I don't know if he's in that stage at the moment. I think he was when he was there when we had him, but I think right now football has kind of gone on to a different stage in terms of how teams are set up and stuff. And I don't know if Poch has kind of is up there at the moment with a lot of the modern day coaches. Not to say maybe you get him in, can he get you back battling again for top 6 and whatever, and with a bit more high pressing, and it's a bit more enjoyable, and you get to see Tottenham attacking again and being brave again, and maybe that's all we need, and that's all we'll get behind. Does he
what more do you want?
My point is, we harbour back to Poch being the manager who got us regular top 4, got us in some title races, and got us to a Champions League final. Now, is he a manager that can still do that? Do I believe he's a manager who can get us back to that level? Not in terms of where we were back then. I don't know, to be honest. But is he a manager who can definitely get us back into challenging for top 6 and doing it in a way which is we can get on board with? Yes, and maybe right now it's so bad, I would probably take that, to be honest. So I'll be on board with it. But is it a manager that I believe is going to get us truly back to where he was? I don't know.
No manager is going to get us back to truly where we was. It's going to take a long, long road to get there. There is no manager that comes in and in the next 2 years gets us back to fighting for league titles. That is fanciful thinking. What we need to think about is solidifying ourselves back in that top 6, getting regular European football again. And whatever manager comes in, they're going to need massive help from the board to help us get there.
I agree. I'm just saying, there are managers like a Nagelsmann or Ronaldo or something like that, who they probably do that in the short term, and then long term maybe could, if given the right back and whatever, really challenge the very top. I don't know if Poch could do that, but I do think he could do the first bit.
Yeah, and that's what we need right now. We need someone that can get us to that first
if the
hurdle.
Other stuff is unattainable, yeah.
Yeah, and I do think the other stuff is unattainable. I don't think Spurs are anywhere close to being where the fans actually want us to be, and where Poch kind of left us, well, a couple of years before he left us in, Champions League finals and being top of the league or top 2-3 teams in the league. Like, we are so far away from that in terms of the personnel of the playing staff. Like, we need to be aiming just to get European football again. You know what I mean? Forget challenging for league titles.
Which is why I would take Poch. I'm not thinking about challenging for league titles in the short term. I'm thinking of a manager who could potentially do that over the long term.
And a manager like that ain't coming to us right now. That's the reality.
I agree.
That's the reality.
But then again, we also thought Conte would never come, and we thought, maybe Mourinho as well. We thought those kind of managers wouldn't come when they did. So they can be sold on a project, but I just have no faith that this hierarchy are selling anyone on anything right now. That's the reality.
Yeah.
And we've already seen there's been a lot of hesitancy from players who need convincing to come to this club. Some yes, some did, some were convinced, some weren't. We've seen right now that Tottenham is just not the most attractive place, and that is the barefaced truth of the matter.
Yeah.
Even the players we do sign seem to reject us at first, and then when other options dry up, they come back crawling with their tails between their legs. That's what seems to happen. So I think even Conte rejected us at first, and it needed Nuno being sacked before we must have just thrown everything at him and said, "Look, fuck it, we'll just give you whatever you want."
Yeah.
So it's going to take a lot of convincing right now to get any manager in place. But if I was a hierarchy, I would be on the phone to Alonso right now and just chuck everything you can at him. If it's a no, it's a no. But all you can do is ask.
Give him a percentage of the club, mate. Do anything you can to get him through the doors.
Give him a stake in the stadium. Give him your free Beyonce concerts. Give him whatever he wants.
Tell him you get 10% of all Beyonce revenue.
Exactly. 20% off the Spurs shop. Whatever you want.
I did see a suggestion online about Arnie Slot. Maybe that's a reason we brought in Johnny Heitinga, potentially Arnie Slot next season.
I would take him.
I mean, at first I said no, but right now I would definitely take him. Look, him and Heitinga. Apparently, Heitinga was very key to what he did last season.
Another man who rejected us before, by the way, Slot.
Yeah, but if Slot's going to get sacked by Liverpool this season or at the end of the season, to bring in Heitinga as number 2 and Slot as his number 1, I think that could be something positive.
I would take him. I think it would be fun as well. I think he's a very attacking manager. And look, it has gone wrong for Liverpool this season, but I still think there's a good manager in there. There's a lot of reasons why it's gone wrong, but obviously he's got to take the ultimate responsibility. But I think, for me, I think he could do a good job here. And it's something new as well, someone we've looked at before and we tried to hire before. So I think I would like him. And he's already won a Premier League as well. So I think we could do a lot worse than Arnie Slot.
Yeah, and it's not like someone who won the Premier League like 10 years prior. He literally won it last season.
Exactly.
But look, that's the situation right now. No update on Thomas Frank. Apparently, there could be an imminent decision at some point, but that remains to be seen.
Imminent decision at some point.
That's Tottenham Hotspur, isn't it?
Right.
But all right, let's get into a couple of super chats. Where are we at? Scorpion Fan for Life says, we just need a coach that the fans can get behind. Sharpie says, Ted Lasso. I mean, I'll take Ted Lasso right now.
Get him in. Lasso in.
Aaron Hugot says, squad is 10th at best. You add injuries and Europe, we are where we are because of misprofile players due to poor squad building. I just don't believe that, man. I think...
It's part of the problem, but...
Yeah, but the squad that we have are not a relegation battling team. They're just not. Like, they're for sure top 10 team, for sure.
As I've said before, a lot of our players play for big nations on an international stage, not like small nations, like big World Cup winning nations, like it's Copa America winning nations. Like a lot of our players, they're at the top of their game. So to suggest like it's all down to the players, I just think is wrong. But I agree, there is definitely issues with the squad that need addressing, 100%. But you also have to show what you can do with what you have, and what you can do with what he has is absolute dog shit. That's the truth. Like if he was showing something, like okay, if we just improve things, this is what he needs. If he improves this, then we're going to be a good team. Like we're not seeing that at the moment. Everything is wrong. Everyone is playing badly at the moment. Everyone, and that when that happens, that has to be down to the manager.
Yeah, and it's not just that. You've got key figures in the team. Our best players cutting just very frustrated figures right now. And, you know, warning signs have been there for a while. And it started off with Spence and Van der Ven walking off and ignoring the manager. And if you've got such a lack of respect for a manager from so early on, I think, the alarm bell should have been going off then.
Put it this way, the most dangerous we look is when Romero wanders up front.
Yeah.
That is the most dangerous we look. And that is, you think that's a tactic from Frank? You think Frank's telling him to go up front? I doubt it. I'm pretty sure he's taking that on himself to fuck it, nothing's happening, I'm going to go up front. And that's when we look at our best, because he gets on the end of things, because we whip so many bloody crosses in. Like, if that doesn't tell you everything, for me, I mean, it's mind-boggling.
3 Spurs boys, big up.
Member
47 months says, shambolic, I will always back Spurs, but it's hard.
Oh, Spurs were always backing. But I guess, what is Spurs? I'm backing the club, but is the hierarchy the club? If it is, then I'm not backing them.
Backing the name.
We back the name. Always back the club. Always want what's best for Tottenham. And right now, it's just such a mess.
Yeah. But look, we'll carry on going. Still go week in, week out, up and down the country. We love our club, and this is what brings out this frustration, because we love the club so much. You know, we want what's best for the football club. Silent SZ says, it makes me laugh when people think Xabi Alonso would go to Tottenham. People live in a dreamland. More chance of Tim Sherwood. I mean, I take Tim Sherwood right now as well, to be fair.
It's mad to think about. Tim Sherwood, by the way, we finished 6th under him, and, you know, our win rate wasn't terrible. That was seen as like a low back then. Tim Sherwood was seen as low, and we're so much lower than that now. It's like so much worse than that.
When we hired Martin Jol up until Pochettino, yeah, there were dips and you know, going down and up, but the general trajectory was up from this football club from then until Pochettino. From Pochettino till now, the trajectory has just been down and down and down. We are sinking, we are sinking, we are sinking, and we need a saviour.
But you know what? People always bang on about, we don't have any stars anymore. Kane and Son have been carrying us, which I absolutely agree with. They especially the last few years, they have been. And Tottenham have generally always had a star. But back then, when we had Sherwood and AVB, what star did we have? We lost Bale after AVB. He was that star, right? The next season, it started awfully because
our biggest star was Adebayor.
We had no stars.
Yeah,
Adebayor was be seen as a bunch of garbage who's playing for us now. Like, I'm just saying, like, we had no stars.
Adebayor would start for us now.
No, I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm just saying he wouldn't be seen as a star, would he?
No.
Like, he wouldn't be saying, we have stars like Adebayor. Like, we had no stars in that team. But Sherwood, for all his faults, got us winning some games, got us playing a bit of football. I'm not saying he was a good manager. I'm just saying he got us finishing 6th and winning some games. He was able to do that with a team which wasn't very good and had no stars. So to suggest that because we don't have Kane and Son, that means everyone is dog shit and we can't do anything is absolute nonsense.
But again, that's what I was saying. It's very similar. The squad that he had then and the squad that we have now. There are very much similarities. We had players like Jan Vertonghen, Kyle Walker, these kind of players that you knew
another level,
you know what I mean? That had another level to go. We've got players now that have another level to go.
Mason, that's where we were playing.
But you know, Poch took them to another level as well. Yeah. You know, we've got players that can go up another level. So all this kind of sentiment about this squad is complete dross and we should be in a relegation battle for the level of the squad. It's just not true. A manager comes in and raises the level of players. That's what a good manager does.
Exactly. Yeah.
The next one is Sporific saying Vinay is worse than Levy. He's scared to face problems.
You know what? Levy wasn't a gooner.
If Daniel Levy was still at this football club, Frank would have been gone months ago.
Yeah, he would have been.
That's the reality.
Yep, I agree. I think he's done well to last this long. I agree, but I don't know who he would have hired as well.
Wisher Krish says, back the wrong manager. Javi or Jabi must come.
In terms of Javi, he's not. It seems as though no one's really seriously considering him. But I don't know. Is it worth looking at him and seeing if it's worth giving it a go? I guess. I mean, his Barca team did pretty well. I don't know how we did in Saudi, but obviously, whatever it is, Saudi.
I don't even think he was in Saudi. He was in Qatar.
Sorry, Qatar. You're right. Not Saudi. It's worth looking at, I think. I think it's worth looking at. But then it's hard for a manager who's only had like basically a world-class pool of La Masia talent to play with rather than what we've got.
Yeah.
And expecting him to like really step up and expecting him not to get frustrated, which is probably going to happen. But I think I'd look at him right now for sure. You've got to consider every possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when the possibilities are so limited. Scorpion Fan for Life says Lang and Vinay are accountable. They won't sack Frank. I think they have to. I don't think they've got a decision anymore. I think it's just a matter of time before they do. Like, the guy's going to get sacked before the end of the season and hopefully in the next few weeks or hopefully today. Like, after yesterday, his job is untenable. The job is completely untenable. Like, on what basis can he carry on? Like, I can't see it. No fan wants him to stay here. Half the board want him gone. Like, the players clearly look bereft of confidence and not believing in what they're doing. So on what basis can we sit here and say Frank has it in him to turn this around? He doesn't.
No.
Super chats from Sam Plays FIFA. Says, get oozing expressions in. I'm telling you, expressions do better than probably what Frank is doing right now.
Get him in. Get him in. Come on. Well, we were at the training ground earlier. Maybe there's a reason for that. Who knows?
Sporific says, the next manager must have the balls to drop Vicario and play Kinski. I mean, that's just another...
Another problem.
Another problem. Like... dropping Vicario and putting Kinski in is not going to solve all of our problems.
No, definitely not.
You know what I mean? Like I was asked on the fan show last night by Brian, like, would I, after that mistake from Vicario, would I bring in Kinski? Like, no. Like, Vicario made some top saves yesterday as well. Like, would Kinski have made those saves?
Probably not.
Exactly.
That one from Mavropanos was brilliant.
So the game would have probably been out of sight before they even scored in the last minute.
It's true. Did you, by the way, and maybe we'll get it if we're going to do the match review with Romero and Frank, there was a bit of a thing apparently near the end of the game. I don't know if you saw it. Some people
didn't know about it, no.
Okay.
Fabro says, I'm drained. We need someone and something to believe in. Get Jabby, De Zerbi or Poch in. Do something. My mental health is on the line. Dead inside.
Yeah, De Zerbi's name is one that keeps propping up, isn't it?
Yeah. I think De Zerbi's got disaster written all over it, to be honest.
I think it'll be fun for a little bit and then it'll just turn really toxic.
Yeah. And I think that could probably come around quite quickly. Super chat there from Robert. No message with it, but thank you very much for the super chat. And this one from Azar. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce that, but thank you very much. Saying Glasner, Thomas Frank will get sacked and we'll hire Glasner. I mean, if that happens, then we may as well just end the club now, man. Like, there is no point bringing in Ollie Glasner on the back of a failed Thomas Frank tenure. No point whatsoever.
Yeah. Look, Glasner's a good manager, but again, it's just not the right fit. About Frank as well, it's not like he's a bad manager. It's just not the right fit. That's how we got to start thinking about it. It's not necessarily, is this manager good or is it bad? Is it the right fit? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And for Frank, it's just no, he isn't the right fit. And I think Glasner would be the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where we're at right now. Just a sad and sorry state of affairs. And you know what? After the game, even at half-time, my head was completely gone. Like, I've been sitting through games a lot this season, just so apathetic, like being like, all right, fine, it is what it is. But yesterday, my head was on Mars, man. I didn't know. I just lost the plot yesterday. I really did. I was going absolutely mental. I remember after the game, walking out of the stadium, I walked past Stel and I just started screaming. And we were just going absolutely mad. I was screaming into the camera. I was going mad at everyone I spoke to. It was just like...
You probably couldn't believe that actually happened. Because we were theorising about, what if we lose? But we never really believed we would lose, did we?
I said to you, there is no chance Spurs lose this game. And you were like, I bet you there is. I bet you there is.
They definitely is. Look how we're playing. Of course there's a chance.
But look how West Ham are playing.
I know, but I didn't truly believe we would lose. But I said, you can't rule anything out at the moment how we're playing at home. You can't rule it out. But I really didn't think we would lose. I thought we'd probably scrape a win or probably win by playing badly or whatever. But even that we weren't capable of yesterday.
I could not even fathom before the game that Spurs were going to lose that game. And you know what? That's on me, because like I know full well what this club are capable of. I know full well that Dr. Tottenham rears his ugly head in all kinds of situations.
Tottenham knows no bounds.
Dr. Tottenham is a stronger force than any other force in this world. Look, I was making excuses after the Bournemouth game when we lost that game because, like, you know, we showed some things in the second half and we lost to a team that hadn't won in 10 or 11 games, but, you know, they're not that bad to lose that many games or not win that many games in a row. But West Ham actually have been that bad to lose and not win that many games in a row. So that's why my head was just so gone yesterday after the game. This is like the worst West Ham team we have seen in a long time. And we have seen some god-awful West Ham teams in our time. Like, this is a West Ham team who are pretty much nailed on for the drop. Well, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
Because we've given them a lifeline this season. We had the opportunity to pretty much relegate West Ham yesterday. And we've let them come to our home and beat us. our home form has been so horrific over the last 12 months. The teams I have seen come to this stadium and take 3 points, it's actually unbelievable.
Nuno has won as many games as Tottenham at our stadium in the past 9 months. Past 9 months.
It's embarrassing. The whole thing is embarrassing.
It's a crazy
We're letting
stat.
Wolves come and take a point here. We're taking Leicester team who were on like a 10-game losing run. Never mind unwin run. They were on a 10-game losing run and they beat us. We let Ipswich come and beat us here, who got relegated. We let West Ham, it's just mental, the teams that are coming to our stadium and taking 3 points or just taking points in general.
I heard someone say the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is a fortress for the opposition.
It really is. It really is.
It really is.
Never in my time of supporting Spurs have I known us to be so embarrassing at home. We've always had a bit of bite about, even in our kind of terrible periods when we had David Gindler in the 90s when we were close to relegation at that point. You always know you would turn up at home, you know? It was the away form that, you know, that got us down there. We always put on a fighting effort, you know? Now, on the back of a Europa League run, winning the Europa League last season, I've never seen such embarrassing performances so consistently. On a one-off occasion, yeah, fine, we've seen it, but never so consistently over such a long stretch of time. Like, I don't ever remember us being this bad.
We would usually, it would be very common, we would like bottle like games where, let's say, we have to win to get into the top 4 or something, and we'll just bottle it at home, and it would be embarrassed. And some, you know, occasionally you'd get a team like West Brom come and get a draw or something. Now, every single team that comes to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium comes with the belief they can win. It's like not even difficult for these teams at the moment. They're all coming with, we'll roll this over. Then no one comes with fear or anything. It's like we don't put anyone under pressure. We make it so easy for the opposition. We always, as soon as we go down, exactly what was, by the way, said, what I said in the preview, and what I was scared of happened. I said, if we go down, I'm scared we're not going to be able to turn it around, because we have yet again not won a game when we've gone 1-0 down, which is, we haven't won a game this season when we've conceded the first goal, and we've only won one game when conceding at all. So this squad seems to have also mentally just has a massive issue when we concede and let our heads drop. And it's also a paradox, because we've never won when we go 1-0 down, but also we never start playing until we're losing. So it's like, what do you do about that kind of team? It's absolutely nonsense. But we are an absolute embarrassment at home. Like West Ham, they should have been 3-0 up in that first half. West Ham, by half time, they'd already recorded their highest ever XG in any away game total at half time. By half time, yesterday.
I was sitting there in my seat in the first half, absolutely losing my mind watching this team play. I had Mr. Box Office sitting in front of me, and I was going like even crazier than him. Like, how mad is that? Like, I was standing there with everyone sitting around me, just screaming at the team, being like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? You're making West Ham look like prime Barcelona here. Standing off it, getting deeper and deeper. West Ham popping it around us like we're not even there." I was like, "What am I watching here? What am I watching? Well, this is like a relegation dogfight, and we're coming out second best." It was mental. Like, that first half. Like I said before, he should have been sacked on the basis just of that first half alone. He should have been sacked at half time.
They were destroying us on the break. They were absolutely, by the way, from every set piece, it seemed they were creating a chance as well. They were missing gilt-edged chances. Castellanos at the back post missed a 3-yard open goal. Mavropanos forced an absolute worldie save out of Vicario. Bowen and Somerville were absolutely ripping us apart on the counter-attack as well. They were getting in time after time after time. And we offered nothing. The only thing we offered was Tell had a deflected cross, which fell to Odebear and Spence. To be honest, one of them should have scored. But that was the only thing we had. Apart from that, we offered so little. We were so lacking in confidence. Simmons was misplacing passes out of play. Tell was misplacing passes. Gallagher was running around like a headless chicken. In fact, in his first 30 seconds, he ran into someone and had a head injury within 20 seconds of his Tottenham debut.
I was saying that after the first 15 seconds of the game, Gallagher has never missed a game through injury, and then 15 seconds in the Spurs shirt, he's down with an injury.
Literally. I was like, come on, seriously. And it was just so, it was properly embarrassing yesterday, that first half, to be played off the park like we were against such a bad West Ham team. Like, And the goal we conceded as well, so easy for Somerville just to walk into the penalty area, and even Gallagher, what was he doing for that goal? Just watching Somerville cut inside, and the goal was a deflection.
Porro should have got closer to him, man.
Porro as well, letting him walk inside, just terrible defending.
It's so standoffish. Everything about us, just like there's no fundamentals on the pitch. There is no leader that is galvanizing the troops. It just looks like 11 lost souls on the pitch. That's what it looks like. And it needs a leader. It needs a figurehead to come and bring them all together and breed some confidence in this playing staff. Like you mentioned, like with the level of performance when we should be 3-0 down to this West Ham side at half time is nothing short of embarrassing, and that's probably being kind to them, to be honest.
Absolutely. We were talking to our uncle before, and he said that's probably he's a West Ham fan, and he said that's probably the first time in any point in any game this season we've outplayed someone like at any half. Like, it's the only time, and it's embarrassing. But half time there were no subs, were they? But
yeah, Basuma came on.
Oh, sorry, Basuma came on. Yeah, he was quite good, to be fair. Credit to Basuma. I thought he was probably our best player in that second half.
Yeah, look, I was I was pleased with Basuma's second half display, but what did he actually do? Like, he just put in a few challenges and
a couple of shots, didn't he?
Yeah, and he forced to save out the keeper, but like
I think
the bar is so low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't put more about 6 or a 7 out of 10 performance. The bar's just so low that any sort of good play, slightly good play, we're going to be like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? He put in a really good display. But actually, it was decent. It was nothing above decent.
Yeah, I think he had some shots. What he did, which I think Frank struggled with, was I think he allowed us to dominate West Ham a bit more. He was putting in challenges in the middle, and I think West Ham struggled to get out because I think they had Gallagher and Basuma now to contend. I think Gray, you saw there was a couple of times Somerville just breezed past Gray like he wasn't there. That kind of stopped once Basuma came in. He gave us a bit of physicality, and he just allowed us to play a bit further up the pitch. Had a couple of pot shots. He did quite well, although he did miss time a header right at the end, which Wilson nearly scored from, which Porro had to bail him out.
Yeah, it was a good block from Porro.
Yeah, I think we came out the second half, obviously. It's similar to Villa. Like, okay, we're just going to go for it now. Truck players forward. We swung in, many crosses in that second half. I
felt like we only looked real dangerous with half an hour to go once we made a few changes on the 60th.
Yeah, I mean, it was only for a little period, wasn't it?
That's all we get with this team. We get 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there.
Yeah, we were dominant. I think West Ham obviously trying to protect their lead as well. We definitely dominated that second half, and we definitely putting them under pressure. We had corners and stuff. Obviously, Solanke comes on for Tell, which, by the way, apparently was that booed, that substitution?
Yeah, it was booed.
And
quite rightly so, because how the hell... And Tell wasn't great, by the way. Tell didn't... we've seen him perform a lot better in previous weeks. How is Muani staying on the pitch ahead of Matisse Tell? Please tell me. No pun intended.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I think Muani was shocking. He had to come off, and I think Tell was the brightest spark. If anything, there's a couple of times, even in the first half, he was like cutting inside, had a good effort, had a shot, he was trying things. Like, I don't understand why he was the one sacrificed. Frank justified it saying Odebear's better than Tell on the right, and I wanted to have Muani up front. So
Muani, I forgot he was playing at times. I didn't even see him on the pitch yesterday. He did nothing.
But he put Xavi on the left, which I didn't understand. Like, he put Xavi on the left. Like, maybe look, if you're going to make a bold decision, take Xavi off, leave Tell on. I wouldn't have taken off Xavi either, but it's not like he played well. But Tell had to stay on. He was one looking to try something. Anyway, he sacrificed him. And to be fair, we did score within a minute, but it had nothing to do with that substitution because it was, again, Romero going walkabouts. Romero basically looking at the situation saying, I need to just do something because nothing's happening here. And that is happening way too often. Every bloody game it's happening. I'm not saying it's bad for Romero to do it because it does shake things up a bit, and it actually is the only time we look dangerous. But it's absolutely crazy that it's needed every single game for Romero to just go, fuck it, I'm going up front.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of what we saw from Manchester United last season. Like, Hail Marys at the end of the game when Maguire would just go up front and they would just swing crosses in and hoping Maguire would get on the end of it.
This is 60th minute.
I know, it's crazy.
But to be fair, it worked. He got the goal. A brilliant header, by the way. But
Bullet, wasn't it?
Yeah, bullet header. But I felt like of those substitutions, like I felt like before he made the subs, we were getting territory and we were like getting closer to the box. Xavi had a couple of efforts, Basuma had a couple of efforts from outside the box, and I'm not saying we looked like scoring or anything, but we were getting closer to the goal. And
we looked like if anyone was going to score, it was going to be us.
But then he went to this 4-2-2-2 formation with Xavi on the left, Odegaard on the right, and Moani and Solanke up top, and we had like no progression. It seems as though he does that when we're losing. He just swings two players up front and it's like, all right, we're just going to swing crosses in and just try and make some chaos happen. And I understand that as a last gasp solution maybe, but when you've got some time left, like it just completely ruins any game.
And we had momentum as well.
And we have momentum, and it completely ruins any gameplay that we have, and it ruins any shape that we have as well. It seems to completely throw the team off. And every time he does it, it seems to completely backfire. His substitutions, by the way, have been absolutely dreadful since coming to Tottenham. Even coming from the very first game against PSG. From the very first game, his substitutions have been bad. I've also heard Brentford fans saying he's never been good at substitutions. He's like, for all the talk of him being really tactically astute, like before he came, apparently his substitutions have never been good, like, which is quite interesting to hear. But his substitutions have more often than not impacted games negatively. The only
100%.
times they've done well is when we're winning games and he does make subs to see those games out. And then sometimes that's proved well in his favour.
And that's just simple, like bringing on Paulinho to shore up the midfield.
Basically,
you know what I mean? That's all it is.
Yeah. Other than that, when it's coming to change games when we're losing, it's been nothing. Like we look worse every time. We look worse every time he makes substitutions.
Yeah.
People would argue maybe it's because of lack of squad depth, but I'd also say he just doesn't really have an idea of how to change the game as well. That's also a part of it.
And even if we would have grabbed that second goal, like it wouldn't have told you anything about Frank being the right guy to be here and being able to turn it around, grab a snatch and grab against this terrible West Ham side. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, him saying, you know, oh, we were so close or to turning it around and all that bollocks. It's just like, we shouldn't need to have to turn it around against this West Ham side. We shouldn't need to have to go down 1-2, whatever it is in every game to start looking like we can play a bit of football. The whole thing is just so wrong and so awful.
Also, were we ever close to scoring after 1-1? I don't remember too many chances.
We weren't close to scoring, but it looked like we had the momentum and it looked like we were the ones pressing the issue more than anything.
Yeah,
like,
but there was no chances, really.
Correct, but it looked like if a chance was going to come, it was going to come from us.
Yeah, I get that, but yeah, there was just, we had a couple of pot shots. I remember Xavi had like a chest and swivel, didn't he? Which Areola had to save.
It was that and the Basuma chance as well.
Basuma had a shot which was saved by Areola.
But they're just like chances from 25 yards out. Like.
Yeah, nothing really going. And then we had a penalty shout as well.
Yeah, that should have been a penalty though.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I thought it was the foul on Xavi, but then when I looked at it back later on that night, like, how is that not given a penalty? The ball hits his hand's out like that, and the ball completely changes the trajectory of the direction. You know what I mean? How is that? In what world is that not a penalty?
Yeah, I think he got very lucky. The thing is, Ollie Scholes, and who ironically set up the winner, I thought he was very lucky that wasn't given, because he has his hand stretched out. He moves his hand towards the ball. He knocks the ball. I mean, funnily enough, he did actually knock it into Gallagher's path rather than away from him, but he still knocked the ball, and very clearly with his hand. And I don't understand why that wasn't picked up on. I mean, VAR had a very good look at it and decided his hand was in a natural position, but his hand was literally out like that. Should be that hand movement. His hand was out like that, and he moved the ball, and yeah, I don't understand why that wasn't picked up on. But
they checked it as well.
They did check. They had a very long check on it, and they decided no. But look, we can't blame that at the end of the day, can we?
No.
It's more. There's more kind of reasons why. And then, to be honest, I actually thought when West Ham made a couple of changes, they also got a second wind, because Wilson comes on. He has that chance right at the end, which he chests it down when Basuma mistimes his header. Porro saves the day. And by the way, there was a few times that second half. I don't think West Ham had many chances, but Romero and Van de Ven both had to make last-ditch challenges on a couple occasions from Somerville to stop him getting a chance. They were flying into challenges, by the way, in that second half from Romero and Van de Ven. It was like they took it upon themselves to drag this team forward. They were like taking no prisoners in that second half. I was like, one of them's going to get sent off here because they were just flying in, like without any care in the world. It was incredible.
They were pinpoint challenges, though, weren't they?
They had to be, because if they weren't, they could have been red cards. Honestly, they were just flying in. Van de Ven did on Somerville, yeah, and then they had that chance which Romero had to do a last-ditch block because that would have been 2-1 if Wilson blocked it. And then they had that corner. I remember watching that and I was like, God, I've got a bad feeling about this corner. Like last minute, I just had this pit in my stomach before the corner was even taken. Like something bad's going to happen here, and bam, Vicario gets caught under him. And Wilson taps it home. And what pissed me off about Vicario is he's running to the ref, complaining about a foul. I watched the replay. There's just not a foul. There's no foul there. It's just poor from him.
Weak, man. So weak from Vicario. And that's 2 corners in the last minute that have, that has been detrimental to us. The Manchester United one and now the West Ham one. And Vicario's at fault for both of them pretty much. Really poor from him. And he was having a decent game up until that point. He saved us quite a few times.
True. Best and worst of Vicario yesterday.
Yeah, so very frustrating. I do want to mention Ben Davies because he goes off injured after 15 minutes, which looked like really bad injury for him. Don't know the extent of it just yet, but it looks as though he's probably played his last game for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, which is sad, and he's been playing quite well since come back to the team. So it's a shame, but
it's an injury that we actually can't afford right now.
Absolutely. No, Gray's apparently picked up a knock at half time as well. Like, we're just getting injuries left, right, and centre. There's no let up at the moment with these injuries. But it's really sad for Davies. That's how his Tottenham career could potentially end. But let's hope he's speedy recovery from him. Yeah, exactly. Top servant to the club, probably our longest serving member of the whole entire club, Outlasted Levy, outlasted Pochettino, you know what I mean? Pochettino's first signing, Ben Davies. Yeah. Which is crazy to think about how long he's been here 11 years. And that's probably going to be the last kind of action that we've seen of him. So very sad. But the whole situation is very sad, to be honest. The sad state of this football club. But I guess that's it in terms of the match review. Let's go back to see a few more super chats. Which was the last one I said? Glasner one. So this one was Matthew Jackson saying Harry Redknapp as interim. It has to be Poch 100%. Nede Nametos for member for 4 months says, lol, bring in Goldbridge. He was great in the Sidemen charity match. Not loving it right now. Tough to get up early in New Zealand and watch Spurs, to be honest. And talking of that, after the game, a father and son came up to me to say hi, and they were over from Australia just to see this game. Wow, sure. And I was like, God, sorry. I feel sorry for you guys, man. They say, yeah, we try to get over once or twice a year to see a game, and I felt so bad for them, man. Came all the way from Australia just to see that. With his young son. Must have been about 7, 8 years old. Was he chanting Frank out? I don't know what he was chanting, but he was there in all his Spurs gear, and poor little kid, man. But big up to them if they're watching. Next up is Callum Curtis saying, we need a man manager to steady the ship to get the players on side. Then after the World Cup, get Pochettino. The only way to unite the fans. Yeah, I think that's definitely something that Frank, as much as he's a good... I think when it comes to his relationship with the players, like, I'm sure he's someone who's fair with them, and I'm sure he's someone who tries to get them on side in terms of, like, tries to understand them and doesn't, like, go overboard with his criticism about them. When it comes to someone who's truly going to get you to motivate it and get you to run through brick walls and all that kind of stuff, he just doesn't seem like an inspiring guy from that point of view. And I think that when he's talking about man manager, I think that's something that's maybe lacking from his repertoire, and that's something that I think the players respond to. Robert, I'm not going to read the rest of his name, says 5 years ago you could have a good debate about the combined Spurs and Arsenal 11. Now there's no debate. It says everything. It's so true. Like, literally 1 to 11. Nah, just give it
1
to
to
us.
11. And that goes the same for a lot of teams in the Premier League, in the top 4 anyway.
Yeah.
Like, used to be a proper debate, didn't it, about 1 to 11, like who we can get in, and we could get in, a fair whack of players. Now, when we're debating rival channels and stuff, we need to go to like best all-time Premier League 11. You know what I mean? That's how bad it's got. We can't debate the current
Can
team.
we bring that Prime Poch? Prime Poch
You know what? Next time we play Arsenal, we'll say Prime Poch 11 against Arteta 11.
Exactly.
Then maybe we'll get a few in. Isaac Newton says Joachim Low is available. Will he fit us? What, I don't know what that.
Joachim Low, the German manager.
The old Germany manager. Yeah.
I don't know. He hasn't managed at club level, has he? I think has he only been Germany?
He must have made his name somewhere before the German
I
national
don't know.
team.
I think he was an internal appointment. Joachim Low, was he? Is he? I can't remember if he managed club level. Did he? Managerial, he did. Okay, he did. Yeah. Stuttgart. He had quite a long one, but I don't know if he did anything of note. Fenerbahce, Stuttgart. Yeah, see, he was assistant and then he got promoted. I don't know what he did before.
But either way, he's been out of management for a long time.
Yeah, ever since leaving Germany, hasn't he? He did a good job at Germany.
He left in what, 2021?
It doesn't really look like he had a great managerial career before that.
Next one says Frank out. Anyone in for now? Poch in for the summer. Also, why is Muani in over Dane? Kolo Muani, don't give a fuck. Let's give an academy product some time. And I'll tell you what, Scarlett would have done better than Muani yesterday. Muani did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah. I actually would give Scarlett minutes over Muani right now.
I'm starting to think maybe just go big on a striker and send Muani back at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, well, what about the winger situation?
And get a winger.
And what about the creative path situation? Charlotte Lewis just became a member, so big up. Welcome to the family. Dropkick your teacher says, did get Frank booted pre-match readouts again? Did Frank get booed on the pre-match readouts again?
Pre-match?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, but it wasn't like any loud boos or anything like that. It was just a few murmurings from around the stadium. The big boos came at half-time, the sub, and at full-time.
Well, also any moments like during the game where, like, I don't know, Vicario was like struggling to pass. Or
yeah, there was a moment in the second half when we were just passing it around the back, like aimlessly, and there were big boos at that point as well. NTNS89 says, how do we get Javi to stay on his feet long enough to be impactful in a match? Too many players in attack and midfield getting bruited. Frank could save his career by making everyone lift weights. I mean, I don't even think that's the issue, man. Like, Javi Simmons felt like his first touch was great, and then everything after that was just like a complete letdown. He was getting himself in an actually decent position, then his end product was just awful.
Yeah, look, I think, it's not about how do we get him to stay on his feet, it's how do we get him making quicker decisions, quicker passes, and better decisions. And look, he didn't have a good game yesterday, no two ways about it, but we need to... It's not all about just physicality and getting him to hold people off. Obviously that helps, but it's more about how do we get him in better positions in the front line, get him to release the ball quicker before someone comes and tackles him, all this kind of stuff, and then being more clinical.
Next one says, we got to have Poch back, need somebody who loves the team and loved by the fans. I think it's the only way to win back the fans, turn around this toxicity.
Yeah.
Look, I think until Poch comes back, we're never going to have this conversation. We actually need him to come back.
Just to get over it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's just always going to come back up, isn't it?
Like, even if it goes wrong, at least that chapter is closed fully.
You can finally draw a line under
You know
it.
what I mean? And then we can stop these conversations every time a manager gets in trouble. So I think Poch actually has to be the next manager, just like for the fans' peace of mind.
And everyone always compares every manager to him as well.
Yeah, exactly. Hotspur Flicks TV says, Frank, the board and Enoch all have to go. Absolutely.
I wouldn't be unhappy with that.
And Evertrav says, Levy was never a problem.
He was a problem.
He was definitely a problem.
It was definitely a problem. I disagree with that.
All right, that's it. That's it from the super chats. Let's move on to player ratings, people. We're going to start off with Vicario. Sim gives him a 4. I gave him a 5. I actually think he did really well up until that disastrous moment at the end. Made top save. The one from Mavropanos was a world-class save. And he was keeping us in the game at times. So people forget that when they actually see that mistake towards the end. But you can't be that weak from a corner. You definitely can't. And... he was a reason why we did lose the game, unfortunately. But look, the fans have given him 3.6.
Yeah, they're not happy with him.
And that is solely just based on that one moment.
It is, but unfortunately, it's not just that one moment, is it? He's made quite a few mistakes now this season.
True, but when you're rating him for a game, this is a match rating. This is not like a season or a career rating, you know what I mean?
I hear that. That's true, but in terms of why they're frustrated with him, no, you're right, the 3.6 is for one mistake, but in terms of why fans are frustrated in general about him, it's he has now. If there's a catalogue, you've got to say that if you do a compilation of his mistakes, it's quite extensive at this point. Forest away, Fulham away, Brighton away. There's Fulham at home. He's building up quite a collection of errors, which is unfortunate, and I don't think it was the case in his first 2 years. But this season, he's kind of really become error prone, if we're being honest, and that's another one to add to the list.
Yep, and it's another position that Spurs need upgrading on. That's the reality right now. So that's Vicario. Let's move on and go to Pedro Porro. Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 6. I thought he was one of the only ones actually trying to press the issue to West Ham. I thought he was spamming in those crosses. Unbelievable cross for Cuti Romero as well, which did level up the game. I thought in the goal that we did concede, he has to get a lot closer to Somerville. He has to try and stop that. He was miles off it. And he made an unbelievable block right in the last few minutes to save a goal going in. So I actually think he did probably more good than bad in the game yesterday, but still nothing great.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because the whole game plan seems to revolve around him, like crossing the ball in. And he's basically spamming crosses into basically one or two players in the box. And he did get an assist with a beautiful ball to Romero. But we need to start supporting him a bit more. We need to be getting more players in the box to help him. And early on, it was clearly a game plan as well. Get the ball to Porro, get him playing over the top to Odebear and Mawani. And he played a couple of nice passes, but it was too few and far between from that point of view. And he of his 24 crosses, by the way, yes, 24, only 6 were accurate. And I think that goes to tell the story of his game, in my opinion. Spamming those crosses kind of with a probability, if you spam enough, one of them's going to land. And one of them did, but not enough of them did. And that's what led to Tottenham being just so poor in the final third. And defensively, as you say, Somerville was given him a hell of a ride yesterday, and that was a big problem.
Yeah.
4.9 yesterday. I gave a 5.
Closer to yours than mine, that's for sure. Next up is Cuti Romero. 6 all round for Cuti. Just before West Ham scored, he did one of those aimless balls down the line, which went straight to West Ham, and there was a massive groan in the Spurs stadium when that happened, because we've seen that so many times this year with Cuti Romero. And look, I get it, because he's the only one in that back line. Well, we've got Porro there, but in terms of the centre-backs that can play those kind of balls into the midfield, that can set us up on attack, those progressive passes, one of the only few players that look capable of doing so. In the first half, I thought he was being given the run around a little bit. In the second half, I thought he improved, and he was putting in those challenges and helping kind of sustain pressure in West Ham's half a little bit. Obviously, went up front, grabbed that goal, as we've seen him do many times this season, but it wasn't enough. And I think we need better from our captain from the off. It can't just be once we're losing in the second half, you see him start to perform and show a bit of leadership ability. We need it all the time.
So he should go up front all the time.
No, he needs to be showing more work rate and effort levels all the time.
Yeah, I think he had a pretty good game. But, the first half, it wasn't... Yeah, it was a bit sloppy again from Cuti. Again, he's trying things. I think a lot of the problems stem from the team in general. But look, he is being sloppy. There's no two ways about it. He's displaying some monstrous numbers in the air, by the way. This against Bournemouth, it was 12 out of 13 aerial duels won. In this game, it was 9 out of 11 he won. So he's really starting to get really dominant in the air. He's such a threat from set pieces. Obviously, he got his goal as well. But it shouldn't need for him to take that responsibility when it comes to getting in the opposition box for us to look threatening. I think it's so telling that that's the most dangerous we look when Romero's in the box. It's absolutely ridiculous, but he put in some very strong challenges in that second half, which we needed at the time, and allowed us to dominate, allowed us to pen West Ham in. He also did go down with what looked like a nasty kind of fall in that second half. He did get back up, but he didn't seem kind of the same after that. There was one moment near the end of the game he was struggling to get back, which got West Ham.
If he's injured, oh my!
I don't know if he's injured, but he didn't seem comfortable at the end. But he did talk to the media. Very rare appearance from Romero, talking
perfect English as well.
Yeah, he called it a disaster result, which I don't think anyone can disagree with. But yeah, I mean, Romero, it was nice to hear from him. But look, I thought he had a good game in general, but not his best.
Yeah. Mickey van der Ven up next. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him a 6. Look, he made a couple of unbelievable challenges in the game, and him and Romero in that second half did so well to bat off the opposition and try and swing the game in our favour. But yeah, at the end of the day, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think he had a solid game. People are starting to get a bit frustrated with him for some reason. They're saying he's also, is he looking to leave, that kind of stuff? Is he?
It looks that way.
Is he playing at his best?
He just looks so frustrated, man, and I don't blame him.
And also, by the way, he's starting to make more and more last-ditch challenges, where at the beginning of the season it wasn't as much. But now it seems like in recent weeks he's having to make more and more last-ditch challenges for one reason or another.
You're saying his hamstring's about to go.
I hope not. But he was also a player who's playing a hell of a lot, isn't he? He's playing every 3 days. He's never getting a rest.
Well, he's not going to play on Tuesday, that's for sure.
He's not going to play on Tuesday, which is true, which is maybe good for him. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, but I think if it wasn't for him, it would have been a lot worse. And again, similar to Romero, he was flying into challenges in that second half. He also ended up getting booked. But yeah, wasn't his best.
He's one hell of a player, Mickey van der Ven, and I'm starting to really fear that he's going to massively push for a move this summer. And I wouldn't blame him, to be honest. I don't think anyone can blame him with the state of the football club. But it's going to be detrimental to us if Mickey van der Ven wants to leave. You're already seeing him massively frustrated. You're seeing him distraught after games. You're seeing him clash with fans at the end of the Bournemouth game. It's not looking good, to be honest. It really isn't.
Yep. I think the signs are there. He's doing interviews and stuff to, people are saying, is that to lay the groundwork for a move? He's cutting a frustrated figure. There's going to be big clubs after him. Not looking good. He's not signing on contract. Signs are there.
5.5 the fans gave him. So, yeah. Ben Davies, 6s all round for Ben. Obviously only lasted 15 minutes, got injured, and it looked like a really bad one. Don't think we're going to be seeing him in a Spurs shirt again. So, yeah, I just want to thank him for his service to the football club. Not much to mention in the game.
Yeah. He actually got booked with the challenge that has injured him, which is ironic. But, yeah, I feel for him. I really hope his injury's not too bad, or I hope he has managed to make that with the World Cup in the summer. But, yeah, it's awful for him to suffer such a bad injury. And, yeah, hope probably is the last we've seen of Ben Davies, and wish him all the best.
Fans have given him a 3.4. I think they've done him dirty there. Very dirty. Next up is Archie Gray. 5s all round for Archie. I thought, look, he put in a couple of nice challenges. But yeah, I thought he was chasing shadows pretty much the majority of that first half. Got taken off at half time, which seemed to be an injury. But he didn't really seem at the races too much. Yeah,
I thought off the ball he was off the pace. But I thought on the ball he was actually all right. There's a couple of times he did some really good ball carrying from the centre. He actually played this one lovely kind of through ball to Xavi, who found him in a pocket of space, which we just don't do anywhere near enough. And I don't know if I'd call it a through ball, because we don't do those, maybe a progressive pass. But I thought there was some good stuff on the ball, but off the ball he was getting exposed. Somerville breezing past him like he wasn't there. He was getting a bit bullied by Souček as well. Wasn't so great off the ball, so marked him down. But yeah, it looks like he's picked up a knock.
4.1 the fans have given him. Pretty fair, to be honest. Conor Gallagher, Sim gives him a 6. I gave him a 5. Went down with a head injury after 15 seconds, which is just so typical Tottenham Hotspur. Never missed a game through injury, and he's down injured within 15 seconds of his debut. However, I don't think he impacted much going forward. Could have bought us a penalty with that handball at the byline. He put in a couple of challenges, running around pretty aimlessly for most of the game. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too impressed with his debut.
Yeah, it's similar to what we'd heard about him in terms of his best work happening in the final third. I did think that happened yesterday. I thought when he was in the middle third, he kind of struggled to really get his foot on the ball, set the tempo of the game or anything like that, which we know is not really his game. But I thought once he was getting the ball in the final third, he looked a bit dangerous when he was getting the ball in the box. There was a couple of times he took the ball past the player, was putting the ball in the box, trying to make things happen. I felt like when he got in the box, he was causing a bit of chaos. But outside of the box, I think he really struggled to impact the game properly. And
chaos, but no real quality.
Yeah, he was just giving the ball away a bit. His passing qualities isn't fantastic, although he does pass the ball forward a bit more than maybe some of the other players. He was definitely putting himself about, made some fouls, and he was definitely put a lot of energy into the game, but wasn't a great debut, I'd say.
Fans have given him a 4.9. Close to me this time. I think maybe your rating might have been a bit generous for his debut. But next up is Javi Simmons. 4s all round for Javi. And I was getting so frustrated with him in the first half because he was finding himself in actually good positions, which he got himself into. But his end product was just so frustrating. His passing was terrible. And every time it looked like Spurs were onto a decent thing, it kind of broke down. And yeah, it was his end product a lot of times that got me so frustrated. But in the second half, I thought he came alive a little bit more, but still not really much to take from the game.
Yeah, though, he got himself in. He did get himself in some good positions, and there was definitely one moment in the first half. He had an opportunity to play an Odebear, and he just underhit it. Then he had another opportunity to play an Odebear in the second half, and he overhit it. The weight of pass just wasn't good at all. And look, there was a couple of moments he picks the ball up, and he's looking like he's going to be dangerous. He tricks past a few players and he gets towards the box, and then there's a severe lack of quality. There was also a moment in the first half, Spence plays it into him. He's expecting a bounce pass and he just plays it straight out of play. It was very, very frustrating. But he also had some good moments. He had a nice shot in the second half, which on the chest and volley, which Areola forced a good save. He was whipping the ball into the box a few times, and he was trying to make something happen. I also felt like once he moved out to the left wing, he was completely nullified, and I don't understand that switch. He was terrible once he moved to the left. But yeah, not a great game overall.
Wilson Odebear up next, 4s all round for Wilson, and just failed to make too much of an impact. There were kind of moments in the game where he threatened to make an impact, but all in all, I think it was pretty ineffective.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty bad, to be honest. I thought I gave him a 3, but I have given him a 4, so fair enough. I have to stick with that. But yeah, he was pretty poor. I don't remember much he did throughout the game, to be honest. He was pretty anonymous. Wasn't impressive at all. I don't think he's great on the right, but he's probably better on the right than maybe any other player we have, so I get why he's playing there. But he looks uncomfortable there for me.
Yeah, fans have given him a 3.5. So that's where Wilson Odebear's at this moment in time. Matisse Tell, Sim gives him a 6. I gave him a 5. I mean, it looked like if anything was going to happen, it was going to come through him. He was definitely our strongest player in the forward line yesterday. Got taken off to massive boos from the Spurs faithful in the stadium yesterday, and I can completely understand why, because how is Muani and Odebear staying on the pitch at that moment in time and Tell going off, I think, is beggars belief. He had a couple of moments, but still, it wasn't a strong performance from him by any stretch of the imagination, but it just shows how bad the other players actually were.
Yeah, I think maybe a 6 is a bit generous, but I think he was the one trying. He was the one getting in dangerous positions on the left-hand side, taking people on. He created a chance for Odebear, who should have scored. He had a nice effort where he cut inside and shot and went just wide. That was not far off. There were some nice moments from him, for Tell, but yeah, I didn't understand the decision from Thomas Frank to take him off when there's more underperforming players on that pitch yesterday for me. So that was frustrating, and you could see his frustration as well with it. And it's something that obviously has been reports about him complaining, hasn't there, about playing time or right position, all this kind of stuff, and that's not going to improve that, taking off early.
So the fans give him a 4.9, so a bit lower than what we've given him. Kolo Muani, 3s all round for Kolo. I don't even know what he's got this 3 for, to be honest. He was an absolute ghost on the pitch yesterday. He was absolutely shocking. I don't remember one thing that he did or many touches. How many touches did he even have of the ball yesterday? Because I can't remember too many that he had. And just absolutely shocking. Look at that. The fans are giving him a 1.6.
1.6, wow. Yeah, to be honest, 3 is probably quite generous. To be honest, I don't think he was good at all.
He just looks like he doesn't want to be there. Like, what are you here for?
When he went up front with Solanke, there's a couple of times where he could have played Solanke in and he just overhit the pass, and maybe Solanke wasn't fresh enough anyway, but he was just terrible. There was one good moment I remember in the first half where he flicked the ball over one of the West Ham players' head and got it over, and then he mishit the pass. Just a lack of quality. Seems disinterested. I think at this point maybe he's looking around and thinking, what the hell am I doing here? And maybe he's already thinking about the next step. I don't know.
Yeah, it just looks like a player that just doesn't want to be here. That's the reality. And when you've got a loan player that doesn't want to be there, you may as well just cut the loan short. You know what I mean? Jed Spence, who came on after 15 minutes, Sim gives him a 4. I gave him a 6. I mean, I don't even know why I gave him a 6, to be honest. He didn't really do much. I think he was, quite astute defensively, but very wasteful in possession. Just didn't do much again.
Yeah. I think his crossing is so bad. He gets so many opportunities to whip it in, and it's never accurate. It's always overhit, floats over the back post, usually for a goal kick. His final end product was woeful. To be fair, I thought he dealt with Bowen fairly well for most of it.
I thought Spence should have started the game yesterday, because if anyone's going to handle Bowen, surely it's Jed.
Yeah, although Bowen did get a few moments to get inside, but most of the time I thought Spence handled him. But yeah, going forward, it's just woeful, man. He just offers very little.
Yeah. Yves Bissouma, surprise sub from him to come on at half-time, and I was thinking Frank must be under pressure if he's bringing on Bissouma at half-time, and Sim gives him a 7. I gave him a 6. I was pleasantly surprised with what I saw from Yves. He was putting himself about. He was testing the goalkeeper. He looked like the brightest spark on the pitch for Spurs. So, I guess Spurs got to persist with him. Well, we can't use him in the Champions League, but I would start him probably at Burnley.
I think at this point, beggars can't be choosers. I think he played well. He came on. I think he gave us a better platform to kind of dominate West Ham rather than what Gray was offering off the ball. I think he was hunting down their centre mids. He was physically dominating them, winning the ball back in good positions, and then just keeping things simple. And also, he was one of our closest routes to goal. Had a couple of efforts which Areola had to save.
Yeah, one good one that hit the top of the stands.
One that hit the top. I think he had 2. Did he not have 2? Two on target.
Maybe.
I think he had 2 on target and one on the top of the stands. And I think he was also quite progressive with his passing compared to a lot of the other players. And I think if only he was consistent and if only he wasn't late all the time and doing balloons or whatever, he'd probably start him week in, week out right now.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, those things are all not true. So all things are true, sorry. So it is what it is with him, but we could do with a player like him right now, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we got him. But he was just consistently winning the ball back for us in the middle of the park as well, and just sustaining that pressure that we had on West Ham in the second half. So, yeah, look, to be out in the cold all season and to come in at half-time in the situation that he came in and putting the performance that he did, you got to give him credit. So, well done to Biss for the second half showing that he did. 6.1 from the fans. Yeah. So a decent rating for him. Dom Solanke, he came on with, half an hour to go, 4s all round. I mean, he looked off the pace, to be honest, when he came on, and failed to make any sort of impact. I felt like he didn't really have the legs.
Yeah, he looked completely rusty, let's be honest. I thought he looked better against Villa when he came on, to be honest, but he looked rusty on the day, and couldn't really impact the game at all. Didn't have any opportunity to score. There was one moment where Moani plays a pass to him and he just was trying to roll onto it, and he just couldn't. He just didn't have the legs for it, even though he's only on for half an hour. So yeah, we just need him up to speed as soon as possible because he was looking rusty.
Yeah, which is understandable with how long he's been out injured for. That's the reality. Now, to Thomas Frank. Sim gives him a 1. I gave him a 2. I think he managed this game horribly, to be honest. Starting lineup, obviously, I thought he should have gone with Spence at left back instead of Ben Davies, but I don't have too many problem with it because Ben Davies has been playing all right recently. It's just the way we were set up and the confidence that he's breeding into his players right now. Letting West Ham dominate us to the level that they did was absolutely disgraceful. One of the most disgraceful 45 minutes I've seen of Tottenham Hotspur, and I've seen some really disgraceful ones. To let a West Ham team of this quality dominate us is just embarrassing. Moving on to the second half, he brings on Bissouma, which was a good sub, obviously, and he did well, and it looked like the momentum was shifting in our favour. We got that goal, and after the goal and making more changes, like the momentum just completely swayed off us. He made some weird tactical changes. He takes off Tell and leaves Mawani on the pitch because he wanted to have two strikers on the pitch. Well, when Tell says his best position is in the number 9, so why not put Tell in the number 9 and take Mawani off and bring on Solanke as well? So I just don't get some of the method behind his thinking, and I think the game management was absolutely abysmal yesterday, and he was a big reason, or maybe even the sole reason why we lost the game. And you can't get dominated against this West Ham team at home. It's just, there's no other words to it than embarrassing. That's the reality, and that's got to be his last game managing Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I think yesterday was a real new low point, and there's been a hell of a lot of lows this season, and somehow we found a new one yesterday. And I think Thomas Frank, the way he managed the game was absolutely pitiful. The way we came out at the start of the game, for the first 5 minutes we were looking like we were pressing them, then that again died down very quickly, and West Ham kind of took control unbelievably very quickly in that game, and we were just absolutely chasing shadows for that opening 45 minutes. Lucky not to be 3-0 down. We then get back in the game because Romero decides to go walkabouts, and he's like, I'm going to take matters into my own hands and go up front. Again, is that even an instruction from Frank? Can we even give Frank credit for that? Because is Frank telling Romero to go up front, or is that Romero taking it into his own hands? And that's how we got our goal. So I can't even give him credit for the goal we scored, to be honest, apart from the fact it was one of the 24 crosses Porro whipped in, which I'm sure was an instruction from Frank. I can barely give him credit for the goal we scored. And then he makes subs after that, which completely nullified us. Went for a 4-2-2-2, Xavi off the left, Odobert on the right, who was completely ineffective, and taking Tell off, who was our best attacker, putting Solanke and Mawani up front, who just couldn't do anything. And any sort of shape our team had completely fell apart. And didn't respond to any changes West Ham made, who got a second win late on, and they scored. And losing to a West Ham team who were winless in 10, after losing to a Bournemouth team who were winless in 11, after losing to a Forest team who had just lost 4 in a row, and I think 5 in 7, after losing to a Fulham team who hadn't won away from home all season, or won one game away from home all season before playing us, after all those things, it's just criminal, man. Absolutely criminal. And on top of that, the style of football we play. On top of that, what he says in press conferences, the excuses he makes. He's lucky to get one, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is the sad indictment of the Spurs team right now. 2-1 loss against West Ham in our own backyard. That's that. Were there any more chats that came in?
I think a couple, yeah.
So this one was from Trev saying, oh no, we've had that. There's only one that came in. Dropkick to Teach says, I heard there were tons of fans fighting yesterday. I mean, I didn't see any fans fighting, to be honest. No.
You weren't getting any fisticuffs? No.
No.
Not yourself?
No.
No one's having out with you?
No. No, not yesterday.
Not yesterday.
All right, let's get and see how the internet did react to the game yesterday. First up, Simon Yamene saying, doesn't matter what direction the tanker is going in if it's already sinking. And that's what it feels like right now. Spurs are just the Titanic.
Yeah, because Frank said yesterday, getting this right is like turning an oil tanker, he said. Or he's like turning a sub-tanker. And unless it's like the Titanic, I don't know what he's talking about. It is a sinking ship, this project. It's already terminal. The water's filled up. There's no saving this.
Yeah.
There's no saving this.
Nothing.
So you can turn it around, but it's only going down. That's the only way. It's all about what part of the ship goes down first if he wants to turn it around, rather than going in the right direction.
I don't even think he can do that, The ship has sunk. It's not even like it's sinking. The ship has sunk for Thomas Frank. And he's got to realise that it's time to move on, or that, he doesn't even need to realise it. The club need to realise it, and the club need to drop that statement. That's all that needs to happen right now in the short term. Lizzie Coy says, now Spurs official, do it now. Come on, you Spurs. And that's Thomas Frank with his P45.
Yeah, replace the Arsenal Cup with a P45. It's probably more worthy.
Yeah.
Something you should be holding for sure.
Absolutely. God.
That will be his lasting image, that him in that Arsenal Cup.
Yep, it really will. Premier League points picked up in 2026. Spurs have the lowest of any team in the Premier League with 2 points. Down there with Burnley, who also have 2 points. Now West Ham have picked up more points than us in 2026. Wolves have more points than us in 2026.
Wolves, oh my God.
Forest and Leeds as well.
Wolves have more points than us in 2026. It's so pathetic.
Wolves, and this was a team that had 2 points nearly halfway through the season.
It's absolute pathetic.
No context. Tottenham saying breaking news: Tottenham appoint new manager.
Thomas Levy. God, imagine. Levy in disguise.
Fat Thumbs says Ipswich no wins in 10, beat Spurs. Leicester lost 7, beat Spurs, lost the next 8. Wolves lost 5, point at Spurs, minutes from a win, lost their next 11. Bournemouth, no wins in 11, beat Spurs. West Ham, no wins in 10, beat Spurs. Burnley next, no wins in 13. Cowards.
God.
You know it's happening.
It's guaranteed we're losing that game. It's literally just guaranteed. We can't beat
With or without Frank.
It doesn't matter. Tottenham is the most powerful force at this football club.
Yeah.
He wields his, I don't know what you call it, stethoscope. And we ended up gifting 3 points to everyone. It's just madness.
His prescription book is like never ending when it comes to Spurs.
It's crazy. Even West Ham at home, who were in the relegation zone, even that game, it's just like nuts.
BLTHFC saying, I stopped listening to Frank's presses after he tried convincing us Monaco was a good display. Since October, I haven't listened to a word he says apart from reading quotes from here. Bloke's an elite waffler and he bores me to death. Can't imagine what the squad think of him. And you know what? That's kind of where I'm at. I can't remember the exact point or pinpoint the exact point I stopped listening to his press conferences, but I've said it for ages. Like, who cares what he says in press conferences? Like, I'm sick and tired of going through all the quotes and being like, oh, he said this. What can he mean by this? It means this. Like, who gives a shit, man?
At the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. No, but you know what? You say who gives a shit, but, you know, it is important. Because look, Ange was able to keep people on side just from his words. I know he ended up getting sacked, but I'm saying there was a lot of people who backed him just because of all the things he said.
Yeah,
and so
but Frank isn't saying these kind of things.
That's my point.
Yeah, but his press conferences are full of absolute waffle.
Yeah,
like, so what's the point? Like, if you know that's what's going to happen, like, what's the point of reading into them? Like, I can't be asked anymore.
I'm just saying it is important, that kind of stuff, how you speak and what you're saying to the fans.
Of course, it's important, but when you know what's coming and when you know what he's saying week in, week out, like, what's the point of listening anymore?
Yeah, fair enough. I hate listening to him, to be honest, but I do it. I still, put the word.
I know you do, because we go through it on here, and I'm just like so tired of it. I'm like, why are we even doing this? Like, it's just pointless.
I've never hate watched a press conference before. But
I see you like hate watching and bringing him up on every little word that he says. And it's just like,
imagine we got to a level where hate watching press conferences. Imagine.
Yeah. Ollie says he's had a whole week to work with them, and this is what we get. Sacking him is too kind. Give Frank a season ticket.
he has to put up with the roster we have to put up with. But it's also absolutely true. It hasn't been mentioned enough. We had a whole week to prepare for this game, because there's been a lot. I've even said it before. Like, he struggled with 2 games a week, and with Brentford, that's something that he didn't have to put up with. But he had a whole week to prepare for West Ham at home. And that's how he came out and started the game. That's a more indictment as well. Another indictment on him.
It's an abomination, man. Heard from Spurs saying the most damning piece of Thomas Frank is that not only has he lost faith in the leadership, but the players have lost faith as well. It is no longer a matter of will. It's a matter of when. Tottenham getting their ducks in a row. Yeah. It's 100% a matter of when, not will.
I think so. I think that I think any thought of him like still being in a job is it's only a slave execution at this point if he's still here after for Dortmund, because as I've said, once you get to this point, like, it's about looking ahead now. It's about changing, because after every bad result there's going to be a massive crisis and fallout. That when it gets to that point, you can't carry on. Because you're never going to fully turn it around, are you?
Yeah.
You can win the next 2, and then we lose another one. Again, you're back to crisis mode. You just can't keep doing that.
Yeah. Sky Sports News tweeted out these fellas today, saying these guys were on Sky Sports yesterday. Recognise them?
We were down at the training ground. By the way, people saying, "Oh, why is Sky Sports calling these guys down?" Well, they didn't call us. We were just happened to be there.
They called
Sky
us.
Sports were there. Maybe there's look. Was there a reason we were at the training ground? Was there a reason we were called there? Is there stuff happening behind the scenes? Ben and Sim arrive at the training ground.
Ben Simeone.
Amid speculation about Frank. Ben Simeone find themselves in the training ground. But yeah, look, go big up to Sky Sports. We were invited on there and gave our views. Although I don't know about the tagline, Tottenham fans debate whether Frank should still be in charge. It wasn't much of a debate.
There was no debate.
There was no debate.
There was no debate whatsoever. It was Tottenham fans give a damning indictment into Thomas Frank's tenure.
Also, I've seen a few people reacting to this in terms of saying, why don't you call out the board and stuff? We did, but they just didn't put that in.
Exactly.
Because we were there for we were both given 5 minutes and they only included 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
So there was more to what we said, but they didn't include the stuff we said about the board.
Both of us actually mentioned the board and why we're in this mess, and they didn't show it.
Oh, well, I did say in that clip, the mess is all Tottenham's fault, and by that I mean the board. It's not just But anyway, people say, "Well, you got a chance to speak and call out the board," but whatever, they didn't include that stuff.
Paddy Hartnett says even Liverpool fans want Thomas Frank sacked, and that's in Anfield Agenda saying sack him tonight.
Even Anfield Agenda are on the case. I'm sure they're talking about Thomas Frank 100%.
Yeah. Football Confidential saying the worst manager in our history. I really like Thomas as a person and I feel sorry for him. He's a good coach and the club have let him down for sure, but enough is enough. This simply cannot continue. Look, we talk about the club letting down managers, right? I think in Thomas's case, I think we've let him down the least probably out of all the managers on that list.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not like we haven't given him a good hand and he hasn't had a great hand to work with. But in terms of the club letting him down, I don't agree with that narrative compared to some of the other managers and compared to what the other managers have had to deal with. I think Frank has had a much easier ride, to be honest. If in other situations, he could have been sacked a lot earlier. He's been given 5 first-team signings since he's come in. He was given a good platform after winning that Europa League to kind of bounce off a good feeling within the squad. And he's a lot of the bad stuff is completely his own doing.
Yeah.
Completely his own doing. So
Absolutely.
I don't have as much sympathy for him as I do other managers, albeit it's not right. It's wrong to pull the whole thing on Frank and say it's all his fault and everything is down to him. It's not true, but I have a lot less sympathy for him than a lot of the other managers.
But 1.32 points per game. That's relegation.
Absolutely.
Brian Daigle says the truth at Spurs currently: squad bang average, coaching team bang average, recruitment beyond pathetic, board disgraceful. This isn't Tottenham Hotspur. This isn't a football club. It's purely a business. It's hard to disagree with that.
We just want to win more games more often. That's what we're told by the board. That's the goal.
And it's just getting less and less frequent to even get 3 points.
We're winning games less often.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Brian. I think he's spot on, to be honest.
Moni THFC saying sacking Frank is not even 25% of the start of the solution. Lange has to go with him, otherwise Frank's sacking won't have the impact we need. Next up, the Guna and owners. We need a good manager, director of football, couple to start with. Won't happen. Current hierarchy have no clue. And that's the thing as well. It's just like even sacking Frank, looking into the future, like it's hard to think that we can actually even do anything positive.
I know, because that's a big problem, because I don't trust these guys who appointed him at all. I think their whole process is flawed, and if they're going to use the same process to appoint a successor, who says that process is going to be any better, and is the results of that process are going to be any better? So I think whoever was in charge, they need to be sacked. But they're not going to sack themselves, are they? So that's a big problem. But the guys who are in charge of hiring Frank need to go. That's also imperative, because it's disgraceful how they've ended up in this situation.
Yeah. Timothy says, with this upcoming fixture list, we are massively in trouble unless we make changes. Get him gone. The thing is, right, even if we do make a change, we're still massively in trouble with that fixture list.
I know, it's
daunting, man.
Big problems with the fixture. I was saying to one of the callers came in, I was like, the only game we'll probably win is City, and there'll probably still be booze after that.
Yeah.
Because this is one game we don't want to win. But there you go.
Ben says 100% looking at his agent here. That's Conor Gallagher. Conor must be walking into this being like, what have I done, man? I had the opportunity to go to Aston Villa. They're in the title challenges
Frank
season.
Called him personally to convince him, and now he can be gone after one game.
Yeah. Cole Freegard says, one was a red, one didn't even go to VAR. All we ask for is consistency.
I agree with that. I was looking at the Dallo channel, and I was like, Xavi's one was not as bad as
Dallo's
that.
one was a stone cold red on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day of the week.
That was the frustration I had with Xavi's one. I'm not saying it was a good challenge, but like I would say you're going to see a load of challenges similar, and they're not going to go to VAR. Yeah, this one they pull up, and that's the frustration.
Yeah. Dr. Tottenham replying to our tweet of being outside the Hotspur way with Sky Sports saying, could y'all possibly keep it down out there? I'm preparing for Burnley for their surgery.
Oh, God, Dr. Tottenham, man. We're getting trolled by Dr. Tottenham. He's tweeting us.
Yeah.
Someone distract him, please. Make sure this it's a botched surgery.
Yeah. This next one was interesting. Trevor Wright confronted Vivian Lewis at the West Ham game after the game, talking about the ownership structure and the manager, and she basically didn't want anything to do with it, and she just bottled off.
Yeah, she ran off, didn't she, in quick time. But I don't like it, but also, like, you know, at the end of the day, this is what they signed up for in a way. Like, you've got to expect some sort of backlash when things are as bad as they are. I'm not saying it's a right for him to confront her in any sort of aggressive manner like he seems to be doing. But like I'm not like. It's not like he's been violent or anything, but it's not
I don't think he did anything. I don't think he did anything wrong. It's not like he wasn't like overly aggressive or anything like that. He went up to her and asked, and was trying to open a dialogue. I don't think it was overly aggressive or anything like that.
I haven't really properly watched it. You shouldn't really be. Is he like shouting at her?
He's not really shouting.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything wrong, to be honest. Look, at the end of the day,
I think I commend him for what he did. These people need to be pulled up.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got every right to, if he's just trying to talk to her, like, he's got every right to go over and just say, like, this is what I think and stuff. But if you, like, I'm just hesitant to support that kind of stuff because people take it the wrong way and then people start doing other things. But, like, I agree. Like, you know, going up and voicing any frustration in a calm manner and trying to, you know, understand what's going on, I think that's fair. And I think, look, at the end of the day, Vivian, she's taken the reins from Levy. He's taken a brunt of the criticism. Now she's in that position. When things are going just as bad, she's got to expect that there's going to be fans wanting to question what decisions they're making and all this kind of stuff and voicing their opinion.
Any fan should be able to you know, talk about the issues within the football club with people that are right there. You know, this guy, he's got a season ticket in the premium near where they sit, right? So the God knows how much he spends on his season tickets every year. He's well within his rights to do what he did yesterday, and I commend him for it.
I just want to make it clear, you know, people just shouldn't go over the top of these things and start doing, you know, shouting at people, making them, you know.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about here, because that's not what he did.
That's what it can lead to. Is if you say, "Oh, so great," and then you say start commending these people for doing it, and then
but that's on them.
I agree. That's why I'm making it clear. People shouldn't do that. If you're looking at next time I see you, and I'm just going to go after her, like, you need to do it in a calm way.
Calm and measured, you know, talk.
Which I think
there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. If it's aggressive, then obviously that's wrong.
Yeah.
But anything to do with calm and measured and voicing your frustrations, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. And I commend what he did. And I think more fans should probably do that, to be honest. And more fans need to voice their frustrations at where it matters. Charlie Lloyd Thomas says 17th over the last 15 games, less points than West Ham or Leeds. Looking at the fixtures, we better change the manager or we could be in real trouble. The reality is we probably could be in real trouble whether we change the manager or not at this point.
2 points from Leeds now. They just seem to be on a roll. They've got momentum behind them. Forest, you know, with Deitch in charge, they're always capable of picking up some results, albeit they've lost a lot of games, but you never know. You know, they as much as they could go on a losing run, which they went on, they could also go on a few game winning one. You never know as well. West Ham, is that going to give them a boost? That's the fear, isn't it? That win, is that going to give them a shot on the arm? Sometimes it just takes something like that, isn't it? How many times we've seen teams struggling, they just get that one win off their back, and then bam, they go on a 3 or 4 game winning run and drive themselves up the table. And if that starts to happen, we are in big trouble because, as you say, in the next month or so, I don't know where the win is coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. When you can't see a win at Burnley away,
I can't, honestly. I think
yeah, but if I'm saying if you can't see a win at Burnley away, you know you're in deep shit, basically, particularly with the fixtures that we have. Tom says this is a genuine problem because for years we saw the Sherwood era as a nadir, then 6th under Mourinho, then 8th under Conte, and assume it's a precursor to something good again. No guarantees at all. Could this be for a this could be for a long time.
That was the point, like our lowest point seems to be getting lower and lower until maybe is our lowest point going to be a relegation? Who knows? Because it seems to be, the dark times used to be Sherwood, as I was saying, that 6th under Sherwood was dark times. Now this is how far we've fallen now, where we're 14th, no end in sight about where we're heading, and that's now the new low. It seems to be just getting lower and lower where our lowest point is.
Yeah, it's so sad, man. It really is sad, and everyone will laugh it off, but I genuinely think we need to think about this relegation, because I think if we carry on the way we're going, it's a genuine possibility. It's not even a joke. It's genuine.
100%. If we lose to Burnley or don't even beat Burnley, if we get a draw, all it takes is West Ham to win a couple of games, really. Yeah. A couple of games in a row, they get a couple of wins. All of a sudden, that gap is now 4 points, and then we're in big shit.
Yeah.
This is this is not a crazy suggestion that we could get dragged into this at the moment at all.
Yeah. Sash says stupid club can't do anything right in response to this tweet saying fans always think their system has finally clicked when in reality they're just playing West Ham.
And yet we couldn't even have that. We didn't even have that little bit of joy of, maybe things are turning around because we beat West Ham. We couldn't even have that.
God. And I was saying to you before the game, we'll probably beat West Ham, and I'll be coming on here saying, oh, yeah, we won a game, exactly. And you'll be saying, it doesn't matter, it was only West Ham.
It wouldn't have mattered. We didn't even win, though. We didn't even have that.
Jody says, look at what the Danish pastry has done to our captain.
Oh, yeah, he's seen completely... he seemed completely lost in that post-match. He's called it a tragedy, disaster, sorry, he called it. Which is different to what Frank was calling it after the game. But yeah, Romero, I mean, it must be desperate when Romero's coming out to do an English interview. Things are usually very bad when that happens.
Yeah. Nathan Clark saying abysmal, but we're a good coaching appointment and a couple of good transfer windows away from being incredibly fun again. Is a hell of a lot closer than it seems.
I think that's also true. It always is closer than you're never too far away, and you're never too far away from things being good, and you're never also too far away from things being bad. It always kind of happens like that.
Well, that's definitely Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is what I was saying before about the comparisons between the Sherwood reign to where we are now. Mm-hmm. When we had Sherwood, there was nothing in sight. We were just we're on the way to absolutely nowhere. We're going to keep dropping and dropping. There is no future at this football club. We had players that didn't want to be there. Lo and behold, some of the players that didn't want to be there ended up being our best players under Pochettino. Mm-hmm. So we've got players right now that don't look like they want to be there, but under good management and a good philosophy and actually a plan, we could go somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we've got a lot of talent in this squad now. I'm not saying it's the best talented squad we've ever had or anything like that. It's far from it. Or even when it comes to in the Premier League right now, but there is talent there, and people will just dismiss it because of how they're playing and how they look. And I think they're a lot better than that. I really do.
Midnight tweeted out saying, whichever youth coach made Cuti Romero defender Rob Football one of the greatest strikers of his generation. That goes for him and Mickey, to be fair.
Get Cuti up front, man. We should just get Cuti and Van de Ven up front.
Yeah, in the top two.
Just do it. Just up front.
Dragoshin down so at the back.
Just get Romero to flick it onto Van de Ven, get him running in behind.
I'm down. I'm down. It can't be much worse than what we're seeing right now.
It's the only time we look dangerous was one of them going forward.
True. Kane from the lane saying he looks like he's about to generate a 0.4 XG at home.
Cillian Murphy doing his best Frankenstein. Absolutely brilliant. He's about to drop the dirtiest 0.4 XG you've ever seen.
Tetrunk is
tweet.
saying if we can't beat West Ham at home, we have to start asking where do we pick up points, don't we? Big trouble.
Absolutely. It's beyond concerning. It's beyond. We are in big trouble.
Jake says 0 wins, 2 draws and 3 losses from this so far. Everyone can see how pathetic we are, yet Vinay wants to put out some corporate speak nonsense instead of admitting they've made a massive mistake. They both need to F off.
This is off the back of him saying pretty good opportunity to build some momentum here on the 28th of December. And that's fallen flat on our faces. Bloody hell. It was. I mean, look at the fixtures. Like, yeah, it's a good opportunity to build some momentum, but yeah, we fucked it.
Georgia Killia says you simply cannot survive 30,000 fans booing you at full time and then clapping the players.
Is that what happened?
That's exactly what happened.
They clapped the players?
Yeah. So what happened is that Frank walked into the centre circle and started like kind of walking towards the south stand. Massive boos. He walked back to the centre circle, then walked off the pit, walked into the dugout. Boos until he got into the dugout, and then Bissouma and a few other players walked towards the stand to applause.
Wow, fair enough. So that's a clear message then.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, there are a lot of fans, blaming the players as well, but it seems though the players are not getting that much criticism maybe from the stands in the stadium.
Yeah. No context, Tottenham. This was Tim Sherwood's face as Spurs went 1-0.
God, when Sherwood's making that face, things are bad. Bloody hell, even when you got Sherwood feeling sorry for you. Oh, God.
Just bring Sherwood back, man.
Honestly, get him back. We're actually clamouring for Sherwood ball.
That's mad, isn't it? I would actually take Sherwood right now.
Sherwood right now.
Tetrunk says, imagine the first He's Magic,
Oh, man. Like crack. Oh, man.
This one saying Bissouma, though.
It's he's on the swing and the Tottenham team, I think, are the fire.
Yeah.
I think so, pretty much. That's Tottenham in the second half.
Literally, that second half, I was just sitting there singing to myself, and I'm the one that say I never want to see him in a Spurs shirt again.
Exactly. You want to rip up his contract now. Rip it up. She's screaming into the mic.
Spurs Global says Nuno has won the same amount of Premier League matches at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the last 9 months than Spurs have.
That's crazy. That's just an insane stat, isn't it?
It is.
How is that possible?
It's embarrassing, man.
How is that possible?
Anas Ahmed says West Ham are 10 points off us and we're only 2 points ahead of Leeds, who was certain to go down not too long ago. The trajectory of this football club is actually scary now. What are we actually doing?
It's so true. Before, you're like, Leeds are probably going to go down. Like, we were pretty certain about it until before that run they went on.
Yeah.
Now
the manager was 2 games away from the sack.
And now they're 2 points behind us.
I know. And they're on the up and we're on the decline.
Yeah.
Like, by next week, they'll probably be us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what their game's coming up, but bloody hell. They just had their tough run, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they got through it. And they're just winning games. They've got Everton away. They do have Everton away and Arsenal at home next couple games. Then Forest, Chelsea. They do have some tough games coming up, to be fair.
Yeah, but you still back them to get more points in that run than
Probably, the way they're playing.
Yeah. Jake Sanders, last one. West Ham's highest XG of any away game since August in 45 minutes. Embarrassing. And their first win since the 31st of August as well away from home.
I'm so glad that Frank has really tightened up our defence. Made us much better defensively, given West Ham their best XG in 45 minutes. But Frank would say, yeah, but look, it was so much better defensively than we were last year. Yeah, great. Honestly.
God,
know.
I'm seeing a few suggestions in the chat saying that there's going to be a 6 o'clock appointment announcement.
Well, where's that come from?
Where does that come from, people?
Is that just hope, or is there anything into that? Someone's already mocked up a fake thing. Club announcement: Thomas departs. Someone's clearly mocked up a fake.
Have they?
Here.
Maybe he's in the Spurs media team. He's screenshotting what he's done.
This one says that Heitinga will take over his first team in an interim, but I think it's all fake. I think it's AI.
Come on, there's got to be some sort of announcement, man. There's a press conference to do tomorrow.
Will Frank be there?
Surely not.
Will Frank be there?
Come on, there's got to be some sort of ITK that have got some
Apparently,
sort of
Xavi is
knowledge.
being lined up for the Ajax job.
What? Javi Hernandez?
Yeah.
Ajax? Nah,
Apparently.
surely not. Really?
Apparently.
Oh, I don't know, man.
We're going to miss out on him.
Another super chat here saying, great show, lads. Glasner or Poch next? I mean, if it's between solely those two, it's got to be
Yeah, it's gotta be
Pochettino.
Poch.
Like, Glasner will just be another shit show. It will be. Like, I know he's got good pedigree behind him. Won the FA Cup with Palace, won the Europa League with Frankfurt. But for a club like Tottenham that want to play on the front foot and have teams sitting behind them, in front of them, like, that's not Glasner. Glasner plays on the transition like Frank does. So it makes no sense.
Yeah, I think it's just not a right fit as well, Glasner. I think he's a good manager. He's just not the right fit for us, I don't think, in my opinion. I think
Yeah, he's a good manager.
He's a good manager. He's just not the right fit. Like, he's not gonna gel with this club, I don't think. And again, he's a very specific manager as well. So you sign him, you need to sign wing backs, you need to sign specific players. You have to go to a back three. You have to fit his profiles, and you're going to have to really bend to his will in a way.
And as well, like, what is this doing now? All this uncertainty about the manager. Like, can we even bring players in from now to the end of the January transfer window?
It's a tough sell.
It really is.
I don't know if it's a tougher sell with or without Frank.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's probably an easier sell with a manager, because at least he can, like, give his talk about his future plans for the club. Like, if we sack him and we bring in an interim, like, who's giving that talk about what future at this football club? Like, he doesn't know who's going to be his manager in a few months.
But at least maybe when it's without a manager, you have to just sell the club rather than sell the manager's vision. You're selling what the club are going to do.
But at least he wants to know, like, what kind of, where he's going to fit in.
We're going to be playing this kind of football. We're going to be bringing this kind of manager, and you're selling him this club. We've got big budgets, and we're going to get an attacking manager. We're going to be playing attacking football. You sell that. When you got Frank here, it's like, you're going to play for me. You're going to be receiving 50 crosses a game. The other team are allowed to shoot outside the box, but you're not allowed to shoot. That's what we're selling. Like, I think probably without Frank, it's probably an easier sell. I should have seen Everton have gone 1-0 up.
Have they? Oh, 1-0 up to Villa. How many points are they above us then?
Oh, mistake from Martinez. Oh, lovely. So right now, Everton are winning. So they are 3 points above us now.
Is that it? I would
No, it
expect
can't
them to
be.
be more.
No, they're now 5 points.
The Independent are claiming that Javi Alonso is one of the names under discussion at Tottenham Hotspur. He could well be. He can very well be under discussion.
Under discussion? What do you mean? Apparently, Tottenham are thinking about maybe if they want Mbappe. That's basically what they. What do you mean you're thinking? Of course you want him. It's whether you can get him. What are you talking about? Under discussion. It should be, let's throw the book at him. Blank check. Let Alonso write whatever number he wants on that page, and you pay it. That's if you really want him and you think he would come, then you pay the bloody money. By the way, Frank is the third highest paid manager in the league. I didn't know that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's a bloody big payoff then.
Yeah.
Big payoff.
How's he giving him the third highest wage in the league?
So who's ahead of him? Arteta and Guardiola.
I'm guessing it's those
So
two.
he's earning more than Arlie Slot, a Premier League winning manager.
Yeah. Manager wages. Premier League.
And by the way, why did Spurs have to give him such a big contract? Not in terms of time, but in terms of money.
I don't know.
He's coming from Brentford. They give him a pay rise, fine, but third highest manager in the Premier League is crazy.
So number
That's how much they believed in him.
Slot is fifth. He's more than Emery. He's on 8 million a year. Arteta's second. Pep's first. He's on the same as Emery at Villa, and he's more than Slot, more than Eddie Howe. That's crazy talk. He's on double what Glasner's on.
Are we getting an announcement today or what, people?
Football
Like, is it
Insider
not
saying
coming?
Tottenham are considering Hertzler.
Hertzler? That'd be an interesting appointment.
Fabian Hertzler from Brighton. I think it would get us playing some good football. at least.
Yeah.
Pretty confident on that. But again, I am also sceptical about getting managers from Brighton at this point because it's similar to Brentford. Like it's such a holistic approach. Sometimes you take them out of that, it doesn't work as well. Look at Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, De Zerbi's done all right, to be fair.
Just because you're within that system doesn't mean you won't work in other systems.
Doesn't mean you won't, but the problem is it's hard to judge whether you will.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Where was Hertzler before, Brighton?
He was in Germany. Was it St. Pauli?
Yeah, he did a very good job there.
Did a very good job, yeah. And he's also very young. Is he still in his 20s or his early 30s or something? I mean, Hertzler, I wouldn't say. If it's
maybe the Stuttgart manager is the way that we need to go.
Seb Hoeneß.
Yeah.
I would have a look at him as well, 100%.
And he's a manager that will probably see Tottenham as like a big step in his career.
Oh, for sure. I think he'd be a lot of fun. Problem is, it's just like the problem with getting a manager now is, are you only getting them because that's what's available? Or is that who you truly want? I guess that's the big problem we have. But
I think he comes didn't he win the cup with Stuttgart last season? Didn't he win the German Cup?
I think so. Didn't
That's
he?
like mad. They beat like Bayern Munich.
Stuttgart been very good under him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been a lot of fun.
And they've also been getting stripped for parts every season.
And he seems to be kicking on. I guess, look, if you've got a manager available now, you can't just wait for... I wouldn't just wait for the summer just to wait, because there's no guarantee about...
No, if there's a standout candidate, I'm all for it.
I'm all for Potter. I wouldn't wait for him if there's someone now.
Yeah, no. I think if there's a standout candidate,
but
fine.
Is that guy Hertzler? Is that guy Hoeneß? Who is that guy? That's the question.
Hertzler, I'm not convinced.
Would you rather wait for Potter and get Hertzler?
Probably. Like I said before with the Pochettino thing, I just want to get him in just to close that book more than anything else. And obviously we want to get that first song, He's Magic, just to get it out of our systems. But
someone said Fonseca. Better go cross that bridge again.
It's mad as well, because if we're led to believe that Fabio is leaving because of that he wanted Frank gone a couple of months ago or whatever, what we were theorising the other day, Frank's gonna be gone before he's even out the door.
Yeah, he's still gonna be here and he's still leaving. God, we're losing both of them now. Ridiculous. Losing both.
Come on, just give us an announcement, Tottenham.
Are we going to get an announcement today?
We have to, surely. Surely it's going to come today, no? Do you think it will?
I don't know.
Well, if you were to hazard a guess, yes or no, what do you reckon? You would have thought it would come already if it's coming today.
Not necessarily. You never know when it's. I think they're being very careful. I think we're not going to get an announcement today. Maybe we'll get it tomorrow, before the press conference.
It's so depressing. 6 o'clock appointment.
Who's
6
saying
o'clock
it?
announcement.
That's 5
I don't know.
minutes'
I don't know who's saying it.
Why is everyone so confident on 6 o'clock?
Who's saying it, chat? Who is saying 6 o'clock announcement? That's what I want to know. Who?
The Copium.
Someone says we'll get Sousa at 6 o'clock.
Oh, God.
Imagine they're getting out of Sousa.
There is nothing I want less than a Sousa announcement right now. I think that Sousa announcement will just send us into overdrive. Man. You see, club announcement. Oh, fucking hell. A 19-year-old fucking fullback. Great that we've known that we've been signing for 2 weeks. God. What are we doing here, people?
We're going to get an Ali Golder here. I believe Tottenham are done for the day. At 6 o'clock. I believe no more action at Tottenham today.
Has he said anything today, Ali Gold?
On his video, he's just theorising, but doesn't sound like he has any concrete info at the moment.
You know what's going to...
Although John Cross did, and apparently he's writing for Football London now.
Who, John Cross?
Yeah.
And all those media lovies.
And it was media lovies. Yeah. He said there's a discussion today.
Yeah, but that discussion was supposed to be in the morning. We're sitting here nearly 6 o'clock.
These
Still
discussions
nothing.
take time, apparently. They take time. Glasner, Raunstein says Palace plan to keep Glasner until the end of the season despite recent outbursts. He held positive talks with Palace today, but not yet spoken to Parish. Work continues on Jan window. Push for the Conference League. So Glasner's staying.
Give us an announcement, Tottenham. It's going to hit like crack if we get it now. We're just going to sit here in silence until the announcement comes. We're on a strike.
Who's this? The brief? Nothing. I don't know. Who are these people? These bloody fake ITKs. Always
There are so many of them now. It's just like driving me mad. Football transfers. Dave. Oh, that was ages ago. 6 hours ago. Tottenham want Xabi Alonso as our next manager. Of course we want Xabi Alonso as our next manager. Such an easy report to do that Spurs want Xabi Alonso.
Yeah. Tottenham are discussing Xavi, all these things. Yeah. What do you reckon, chat? All right, 3 minutes. We'll wait 3 minutes, see if there's anything. See if there's anything to these chat estimations.
Might have to get Daigle to push this through.
It's true. Whenever we get Daigle, whenever we get Daigle on, it seems to something seems to happen.
What's this SZY Priv guy saying? See you guy mentioning him in the chat. He's not tweeted for 7 hours.
Hello.
He said a decision is aimed to be made today regarding his future.
It's always quietest before the storm.
That's true. And it's very quiet right now. Just going to refresh that Spurs Twitter.
Like you're waiting for it
violently. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even need to do that yesterday because we knew the lineup from the night before.
Yeah, we did. Which he commented on leaks again.
Yeah.
Frank said it's not optimal.
It's funny the differences between Frank's response to a leak in the camp to Ange's. Ange was like, we need to win this guy out now. And Frank's like,
there's
no,
a
it
mole
doesn't
in the
matter.
camp.
Frank's like, it doesn't matter too much.
He's like, I'm close to finding out who it is.
He never got to the bottom of that, Ange, did he? Clearly not. Who is the leak? 1882 Spurs tweeted out, 5 p.m. and no announcement. Get this guy out the door immediately. All right, we're 1 minute away from 6, people.
Here we go. Someone want to do a countdown?
The last tweet Spurs have put out, it says, Pape Matar and Senegal take on Morocco in the AFCON final.
Oof.
This is the longest minute of my life. It's not happening.
Wolves are now 5 games unbeaten. The last time Spurs went 5 games unbeaten was in October.
Fantastic. This is one of the worst Premier League sides of all time that we're talking about.
So Poch was fired at 7:34.
It's true. It was quite late at night, Poch is firing.
Yeah, I remember.
All right, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, anything? Refresh. F5.
No. Nothing.
The minute hasn't ended yet. Maybe it's not 6 on the dot. Maybe it's 6 and 30 seconds. We've been trolled.
That was 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Start spamming 7 p.m. 7 p.m.
You know what's going to happen, though? We're going to end the stream, we're going to get in our cars, and halfway back in the journey, we're going to get, Frank has been sacked. Happens every time, man. It's not coming.
Well, not yet.
It's 1:06 now.
Oh, no. No, definitely not coming now. No announcement, people.
What's this?
Oh.
Paul O'Keefe says, well, someone asked him saying, are the club treating this as business as usual? And he says, not at all. It's more about when, not if. That's positive, I guess.
Leslie Lee McQueen just done a video saying something. I missed him. It's gone now. Saying announcement. Is he announcing the sacking? He gets nuggets, doesn't he? Where's his account? What's his account? Can't find it.
It's actually mad, this injury crisis. Why does this happen to us every year? For the Dortmund game on Tuesday, Mickey van der Ven, Radu Dragshin, Conor Gallagher, Ibasuma, Solanke, Davis, Paulinia, Bentancur, Madison, Kudus, Kulusevski, Richarlison are all out. And Pape Sarr we don't know about.
We were chatting to the Sky Sports guy and he was talking about how Frank said the medical stuff was something he really wanted to focus on, but hasn't helped, has it?
No. What kind of team are we going to play on Tuesday night? You have Vicario in goal, back four of Porro, Danso, Romero, and Spence. Midfield, who's the midfield going to be?
Berg, Val, and Sarr? If Sarr's available.
Sarr might not even be available. What if Sarr's not available? Who goes in midfield?
Oh, it's not Thomas Frank related. Oh, who cares? I don't know, man. Xavi in midfield? I don't know. Maybe we played 4-2-2, 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
We can't actually, no Solanke.
It's mad. Who do we even play? I don't get it.
Just got to pump
Luca Williams-Barnett.
Olasasi. Can't go back three.
No, we don't have enough defenders for back three. We don't have enough midfielders for middle three. So what do we do, people?
I actually got no idea.
You know what? That's good as well. Javi Simmons was limping after the game
Yeah,
as
he
well.
was.
Imagine if he's out.
He was limping after the game. That's a good point.
All right. Look, I think. What?
Brian might come on.
Brian wants to come on. That's fine. That is fine. He's great injured. Yeah, he picked up a knock yesterday.
It's 2 minutes.
Brian Daigle's going to come and push this through, man. I know it. I feel it.
If Brian's on, there's always a possibility. What's broken when Brian's been on? I think Ange was sacked.
Yeah. And Conte was hired.
Conte was hired. No, but there was another thing happened when he was called in. Something else happened. We got an announcement. We got the Morgan Gibbs White, here we go. I remember when he was on. Things just seem to happen. It's like they want Brian's reaction, the club.
No way. They've got our YouTube lives on. And they're just waiting till... When are the lads going to get Brian on? God. Brian, we need a hero. We need it now. I think if he's going to be out for the Dortmund game, I think it has to come today. It's not going to do it on the day of the press conference, are they? Or are they?
Sim, make an FM save and sack Frank here live. Could do that. Set up a whole save just to sack Frank. Other news, I see Oliver Iro yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, his first goal was a bit of a poacher's effort on the rebound, but his second goal was beautiful.
Beautiful goal, man.
Get him in.
It looks like a proper talent.
Yeah.
On his debut as well.
Yeah, off the bench.
Off the bench. Couple of goals.
Oh, what are we doing with our lives, people? What are we doing? Is he here?
Here he is. Second time we've seen him today.
The last
Mr.
time we saw Daigle, we were outside the training ground, and suddenly a car drives past us with some man hanging out the back window screaming,
madman.
"Enoch out! Enoch out! Enoch out!"
Sky Sports reporter turns to us and goes, "You really get some crazies around here."
I have to say, on the way into it, I actually screamed out, "Enoch out, Vinay out, Lange out, Frank out, everyone out." Mate, how weird was it that we're both in the same place and we didn't see each other? But how are you boys and everyone in the chat?
Going through the motions, my friend. We thought, what better way to push through a club announcement than bringing on Mr. Brian Daigle?
Yeah, I've been chopping in and out because I've been at the nephews and niece, and then I heard you say we might need to get Daigle on to push it through. And then I messaged you both on WhatsApp and then sent the message to Sammy. And here I am.
How are we going to push this through, Daigle? Come on.
Is it going to happen today, Brian? What's your prediction? Is it happening today?
Well, first of all, what I don't understand is for a club that said they wanted to go down the data analytics for transfers to get all the correct data and all that, they've got all the data to show really poor football, really bad results, and fan unrest, and they can't make a decision.
Yeah.
It's this football club. And like I said,
what are we actually waiting for? Because like we've been told that this is probably going to happen, sooner rather than later. It's a question of when, not if.
Yeah.
So I mean, why have we not heard already? Like, why haven't they come out with a statement? What are they actually waiting for?
The only thing that I can think of, in all honesty, the only thing is I would imagine they want to get an interim in, like they did when they sacked Ramos, or not an interim, it was Redknapp immediately. Like when they sacked Poch, it was Jose immediately. I just think they're trying to line up that, because obviously I think the whole backroom staff will go apart from Johnny Heitinger.
He's come in 48 hours ago as Frank's number 2. And he's like, I know full well what I'm walking into here.
That's exactly what I was about to say, yeah. I know full well. That's the only thing I can think of. Like people know, I backed Frank more than anyone. I wanted him more than anyone. I truly, truly believed it would work. The thing that's got to be the most, like I was saying with Steven yesterday, yes, the football has been poor and atrocious, but we've seen poor football.
Yeah.
throughout, before, even during Sugar, Scholar, whatever. We've seen poor football. If you get results, it's not brilliant, but you get the results. But what I don't understand, and me and Simon were talking about it a lot yesterday, you can't come out and go, well, I think we played really well, we're on the verge of turning it around. If Frank had just come out and said, do you know what, this is not acceptable, we're struggling at the moment, but we're going to work morning, noon and night, day after day tirelessly to fix this and work this around, and I can see the faults and I'm going to correct it, you'd be like, all right, okay, I understand what you're saying. You've seen the issues, but it's that that's getting me. It's that that's really got to me. Like I said, the football's been poor. The football has been poor. I will say, DJ Green Alert, email me. Make sure you email me, buddy. So it's just, I don't get why he's been like this. I don't understand it. But like we said as well, we look at it. When we moved to this stadium, we got told it would be game-changing.
Yeah.
Once Frank does go, and
it has been game-changing, because before the stadium we were fighting for league titles, we were getting to Champions League finals, and now we're staving off relegation.
Mate, it's not been game-changing, it's been manager-changing. We've been there 6.5 years. We're about to have our 10th person that will be in charge. And if it's an interim, at the start of the season, it'll be 11. Yeah. And I am including Mason twice as Delaney because they managed a competitive game.
Yeah.
So, 6.5 years, 9 managers. We are Watford. And do you know what? And Sammy's we take the piss out of Chelsea, hiring and firing.
But we got no leg to stand to take the piss out of anyone. We can't even take the piss out of West Ham.
No, when Chelsea hire and fire, the one thing Chelsea will always do, whether it be this board or Abramovich, is they will get hundreds of millions to spend, and if it doesn't work, you're gone, and we'll just bring in the next one.
Who do you think is the most viable candidate for an interim role from now until the end of the season?
Mate, for all I care, mate, get fucking ChatGPT to do it. Just say, ChatGPT, what should we do for training? Who should the best 11 be? And I'd be deadly serious with it. I am never, ever, ever going to back a manager to the hilt like I did with Frank. I'm never going to put myself on the line, even if it's Poch, because it doesn't matter. Whilst these people are in charge, we will be here in 6 to 12 months, no matter who it is. Yeah. No matter who it is, because they're set up for failure. So I've been deadly serious here. I don't care who it is.
Yeah. Don't blame you, to be honest.
It could be Chirpy. It could be Tim Sherwood. It could be Martin Yole. It could be Sooty Sweep and Sue, or the big bird from the Sesame Street. I don't care. I don't care.
But Brian, do you think the decision's been made, or do you think they're still mulling over it?
Do you know what, Steve? Like we were saying yesterday, when we were talking, and what's the name of the Australian guy that came at the end?
David, or Josh?
Josh. Like I said, we've got a board here, and this board, how can they not come to how is it that the board is split? Surely for these reasons, you have like a guy that's votes worth 2, or you have a odd number, so there is a definitive outcome. Every time they say we can't decide, we're split, it's delaying us making any moves. It's either making it worse, or there'll be a slight turnaround, like we get a win, God forbid, and then it'll be like, okay, things are good now, and then we'll go on, and then there'll be another poor defeat, and how many times can you keep having? We're having meetings about meetings.
Yeah.
That's what we're currently.
But we need to bring on someone that can change the trajectory of this season, because we've got a genuine possibility of being embroiled in a relegation battle here. Surely we can't let this club get relegated.
No, I mean, one of the first things I would do, I mean, I heard you speaking about it. I would bring in another striker and send Mwani straight back to PSG.
Why not give Dane a few minutes over him?
Dane, bring Lancashire home. Whoever. Why are these people being sacked? This guy has come with no... You thought he'd have the desire to try and get into the World Cup team. You thought, like Gallagher's come here with an incentive to try and force his way into England. You think Mwani would try and get into that French team? No chance with what he's doing. No chance. People can say he's not getting the service, he's not getting this. Even when he has, he's not doing much on the ball. And these kind of players, these are the kind of players that have played for PSG, played in the World Cup final, played for Juventus, that are meant to be of a very high standard, and they make things happen.
It's going to be Johnny Heitinger, isn't it? Interim.
No, I don't know, but all I can say, if it is someone like Mason or someone like that of that ilk, I will be at the training ground for a few days before I go back to Toronto. No, I don't care if I'm by myself.
Well, who?
So you're saying we for you, Brian, if we are sacking Frank, which looks like it has to be for someone permanent. It has to be for someone who's coming in.
I'm not saying that's him, but if you look at this market now, and let's be serious. I mean, people are talking about Alonso. I did want to say, when you were talking about all the things that came late, do remember Antonio Conte was fired at about 10 in the evening.
Was he?
So, yeah. So that who knows what goes on with this club. I just don't see. If you look at this market, and like I said, for me being Frank's number one advocate, supporter, and whatever word you want to use with it, taking that out of consideration, you look at this now, I don't think we can get a Xavi Alonso unless we pay him absolute fortunes. And if we do pay him absolute fortunes and he comes in, everyone that's talking about poaching everyone, or Nagelsmann or whatever, that's gone.
Yeah.
And then it will be, we put so much money into this manager, you make these players better like we've seen before.
Put it this way, Brian, what announcement could Spurs make in terms of interim manager or permanent manager that would stop you going to the training ground?
How can we stop Brian? How can we stop him?
I don't think I should be stopped.
Are you an unstoppable?
No, I'm not saying
Brian?
you should be stopped, but you're saying if it's Mason, you'll go to the training ground and protest, right? So
Mate, if Spurs go and sack Frank, regardless what we think of him, and then go bring back Ryan Mason, who has just been sacked because he's got West Bromwich Albion 18th, and we want to talk about we could be pushed into a relegation struggle, and then the way you do that...
Yeah, but Carrick just got sacked from Middlesbrough.
Yeah, but he wasn't in a relegation fight for them, was he?
No.
And he did very, very well at Middlesbrough. Right, near the end it petered out. But it can't be... There's so many people in your chat saying sack, 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 so I don't know if it's just... baiting or whatever.
They're just saying sack, yeah.
I'm saying, what manager would you be happy with? That's realistic.
Well, it's not realistic what I'm about to say, but I'd love it more than anything. It's Martin Jol.
Martin Jol.
Mate, my love for that man.
Has he had a job since Fulham? Has he had a job since Fulham?
I heard you talking about it before. And I've said it before as well. Martin Jol was the catalyst for everything that started going better, the uprising of this football club. Then we had all the managers that brought us up there. We're now back to where Martin Jol... we're back to the depths of where Martin Jol took over. And the only reason I say Martin Jol is because I see so many people saying Harry Redknapp. The guy is close to 80 years old. Let this man relax, do his media as and when he wants, and spend his time with Sandra.
How old's Martin Jol?
Just over 70.
Right.
But come on, Harry Redknapp. It's just, mate. Look, Ben. When we saw Martin Jol at that event for Frankfurt, you could see the passion and fire was still there within, not just within football, within the club.
Yeah.
If there was to be,
he loves the club,
mate. He loves the club. I love that man more than life itself. My favourite ever Spurs manager, ever. I love that man. But you look at it, I mean, there's people saying Southgate. I wouldn't want to, people going on about the style of football we play now. Southgate's the same. If we hire Glasner, it will be exactly the same as what we are now in 6 to 12 months. The manager market is so dry, isn't it? You look at it, and with Man U, well, you got to remember, with Man U sacking Amarin, they're going to have their eyes on Poch, they're going to have their eyes on Nagelsmann, they're going to have their eyes on Tuchel.
I think they're going to go for Glasner, in my opinion. I might be wrong.
I know Man U are in a complete mess, but we know financially they'll offer the packages.
Yeah.
And they'll offer the transfer budgets.
Yeah.
So with Pochettino, we have the upper edge just because of the connection. But it's just an absolute sorry state of affairs. And please God, if we let Frank go, or when we let Frank go, but Johan Land stays at this club, then I don't care if we hired Pep Guardiola. I'd be at the goddamn training ground if Land stays. Because this guy is ridiculous.
For you, Brian, with what happened yesterday at the ground with Frank, the whole stadium chanting "sacked in the morning" and stuff, is it, regardless of whether you want him sacked or not, is it fair to keep someone in charge when you're basically throwing him to the Wolves at home games, it seems, at the moment?
Sim, do you know what? Me and Ben heard it the week before that you're getting sacked in the morning, but obviously it was a lot louder, a lot more intense yesterday. It's not fair on Frank. Frank can see what's going wrong. Take out the football.
Can he see what's going wrong? If he can see what is going wrong, why?
It's heart of hearts, mate. Let's be serious. Let's take what he's saying in press conferences.
So why is he not doing anything to change it then?
Mate, that I've got no idea. I mean, one of the greatest things I loved about Frank coming was Justin Concrete.
Another gooner.
He hasn't exactly been what we've seen. And I mean, obviously, we know in his personal life he's had some really bad things to go through, and what he's gone through, and still managing and doing his day-to life and bringing up his kids is an incredible human, the human side of it, but very, very disappointing on the footballing side.
Would you would you take Hertzler?
I think it would, but look, if we went that way, it's another young manager, isn't it? I think what Spurs need is we need an experienced manager. We need a disciplinarian that's not going to take this shit from these players. We need structure.
So what you're saying is we need Conte?
No, I mentioned it. Yeah, I mentioned it yesterday, and people laughed at it. I would love after the World Cup if Spurs seriously made a play for Ancelotti.
Ancelotti, I think that would be...
Ancelotti is someone that comes... But listen, he went to Everton.
Yeah.
He went to Everton. Ancelotti is someone that you bring in if you're genuinely going to challenge for the league. But I'll tell you what, if we're not in Europe and we're trying to get back somewhere, Ancelotti won't take no crap from his players or the board. He will be a manager that players will want to come and play for.
Yeah, but you know, with Ancelotti, it's just the Real Madrid crisis away from losing our manager.
Mate, that's for me, that's the exact same thing with Alonso. That's the exact same thing with Alonso. Alonso comes in. As soon as Arne Slot's gone, it's pretty obvious where they're going to go.
Yeah.
And then we're screwed.
Yeah, but Alonso doesn't have previous of jumping ship. Ancelotti does.
Ben Cole, I mean, let's put it this way. When we hired Ange Postecoglou after Frank...
And Alonso ain't even coming here anyway, so...
But do you know what? I would say I'll put a tattoo bet on it, but I've got a history of that.
Maybe if you put a bet on, he might come.
Mate, honestly, Ben will vouch for this. He has seen Ilana and heard Ilana say, when I've mentioned I'm going to get another... I'm going to put a Tottenham Hotspur tattoo bet on, let's just say it wasn't greeted with enthusiasm.
Come on, Brian. She'll never know.
Oh, she will. Oh, she will. So yeah, like I was about to say, company. Even if we'd gone for company back before he went to Burnley and everything, we know as soon as Guardiola had gone, Man City come calling. Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's just the fact of where it is, and you can't blame those managers. You can't blame them when they're clubs that they were idolised, loved, and their heart is at. They're always going to go there.
What about an SOS to Jurgen? Klinsmann, that is, not Klopp.
The season before my first season ticket was the Jurgen Klinsmann season, when I pretty much went to every home game and a hell of a lot of away
First time
games.
round or second time round? First time round.
First.
Yeah.
I had my season ticket second time round. First time round, what I saw from that man was one of the most devastating seasons of Premier League goal scoring and finishing and class. But he hasn't seemed to do it managerially. But I would say, do you know what? As much as I don't think he's right long term, right now I would take Jurgen. I would take Jurgen for an interim. One thing he will do, the fans will be absolutely pumped. The atmosphere will get a lot better. He knows what this football club is about.
Yeah.
And what the expectations are. You see him on all these interviews for ESPN or whatever network he's working for or being interviewed by. You speak about Tottenham and his eyes light up. I seriously, I would take Jurgen. I would take Jurgen interim 100%. 100%.
It's a good point someone makes. Roy Keane?
Roy Keane.
Could you imagine Roy Keane with this? Do you know what I would pay for it?
You wanted a disciplinarian.
Mate, I would. Could you imagine if we'd have to get a clause in his contract that we'd have to have cameras in his like Big Brother. We'd have
He's
to
a
have the
Spurs
training
fan.
ground.
He's a Spurs fan.
Roy Keane would be, mate. I would love it. I'll do my Kevin Keegan. I would love it if we got him in. He would whip this lot into shape.
Would you take it, Sam? Roy Keane as interim? No?
No chance.
All day.
Roy Keane.
I would, just for the discipline.
When
Just for the
was the last time he managed?
He'd shake fear into the whole club. And that's what this club needs. They need the fear of God put into them.
I think Roy Keane for a few months would be box office.
It would be box office. It would be a disaster.
Mate, it would be. It would be. It really would be. That's what I think we need. We need someone that's not.
We need a disaster.
we are a disaster.
Yeah.
Would you take Sherwood back?
No. But I will say, as I shared with you guys yesterday, you can play that Tim Sherwood interview from the Chelsea game, and you could play it for every single manager we've had since, and every single word of it rings true.
Very true.
They go about having friends and they're looking out for their friends. Do you remember when Brennan Johnson got sold and we heard the players were unhappy?
Yeah.
And it's like, do me a favour. Do me a favour. It's like, mate, do you know what? These managers that have called it out have been right, and you could play their interviews, every single manager since, and they're still completely, totally, and utterly right.
Brian, Ben Davies has been doing his coaching badges.
Well, do you know what? First of all, let this guy recover. Let this guy listen. He's about to probably have surgery on whatever it is he's broken, and going to be in for a lot of rehab. So let him focus on that. So that would be Spurs, wouldn't it? We'll be the only manager that's got a manager on crutches. That resembles the medical team at this football club. Yeah, Ben Davies, no. Tim Sherwood, no.
What's your gut telling you, Brian? Is he in charge for Dortmund?
No.
He's not.
No, not for me. If they do, like you guys were saying, I don't think we're going to win the Champions League at all, but we didn't think we were going to do it with Poch, and we got to a final. Not saying we're going to get to a final, but the longer he stays, I mean, you imagine if let's just say he is still there for Dortmund, going into the stadium, and Simmy, you going to that game?
Yes, I am.
So that's a guaranteed not seeing a home win. So
Yes, that's not
so that ground is going to be spitting blood. Dortmund are in great form. If we go behind, it's going to get toxic. Should we lose, it will be out of control. And then you go into Burnley away, and like people say, I don't think we'd beat Burnley away.
Yeah, neither do I.
I don't even think you look at. It's not even a case of trying to beat them. I don't think we create a chance.
Yep. They'll sit in a low block and counter us and beat us 1-0 probably.
Yeah, you could see it. You could absolutely see it, couldn't you?
Marcus Edwards 1-0.
Oh, mate, you know
It's written in the stars, isn't it?
Oh, of course, mate. I'm surprised Kyle Walker-Peters didn't come on and do anything for us.
Yeah.
Or against us, shall I say. But, yeah, yesterday was unacceptable. 2026 has been unacceptable. 2025 was not like this season. I wouldn't go as far as unacceptable. A lot of people will say it was unacceptable, but...
In the league, it was unacceptable, but we won the Europa League at least.
No, but I'm talking about this season. Forget last season. I'm not being... I really don't want to talk about last season because I've had enough of talking about it.
Open a whole can of worms.
Yeah, exactly. Worm, Colts, whatever you want to use.
Well, would you take Ange back at this moment in time?
Ange comes back, you'll never see me again. Ever. Ever on social. I will vanish off social media.
Bloody hell, on social media, thank God. Jesus.
You know what, mate? It will bring a lot of people joy. It will bring a lot of people joy. But if
so will you be angrier bringing Ange back than Mason?
Mate, I will not comment on anything of that line ever again because it's just not worth the grief. But I will say, if he comes back, you'll never see me on YouTube or social media again. Period. Ever.
So he'd be the last person you want to bring back?
Ever. Mate, ever.
Interesting.
Ever. Enough. After my outburst yesterday, which, by the way, my family that I was with when we went to see my auntie at her grave, as soon as I saw them, they were like my cousins that I haven't seen for a while and their kids. First thing they did is, Brian, your halftime rant was epic. I was laughing my head off. I was like, oh, okay.
I have to watch that. Haven't seen it.
Oh, mate, I've just had enough. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it anymore. So, yeah, there'll be a lot of fans praying that Ange comes back now because that will be the end of me. But it literally will be, even on this channel. You just would not see me. But
I don't want him back, but after you said that, I don't want him back anymore.
Bringing Ange back now, I think, just signs the relegation death wish, to be honest. Especially with this injury crisis.
They'll come for you.
They'll come for me, will they? No, they'll write a few comments.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah. But, yeah, moving on from that subject. Like I said, if I could have one wish, I would get that Men in Black thing and just literally say some things so he's forgotten.
What about the Europa League?
Yeah, he's a legend at this football club at the end of the day, no matter what we want to say about it.
Before this gets misquoted about the literally bringing back, he's the one that brought attacking football to the world. The literally, if it weren't for it, not, I'll keep saying it, but people don't want to hear this bit because they choose what they want to hear. I will be forever grateful and consider that man a legend, like I do for every single person, apart from Judas, that has won a trophy at this football club.
What about George Graham?
George Graham's a legend to me.
Nah, fuck
mate,
that.
I don't think we should have sacked George Graham.
He was sacked one game too early.
Mate, not just that. That was the Enoch warning shot. That was the Enoch warning shot. What we're going to do to try and get you into our good books is we're going to hire the devil. Sorry, sack the devil and bring in God, rather than invest in the team, and didn't work out.
Do you think Hoddle could come back as interim?
Would he want to with everything he says about us on BT Sport or TNT? Would it be good for his heart?
Probably not, to be fair.
Would it be good for anyone's heart? I will say as well, though, away from Frank and all the managers, one of the first players out the door this window has got to be Guillermo Vicario.
I don't think so, man. He's got to be
For
a
me-
player out the door. But you got to look at it, Brian. You know, he made that mistake towards the end. He wasn't strong enough, fair enough. But if it wasn't for him, we probably would have been losing a lot more before then.
Yeah, but I want Tottenham Hotspur to buy a goalkeeper that can use their feet and their hands.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But to put in, if Kinski was in goal, we would have probably been losing a lot more by that point.
Well, mate, that's hindsight. Look, mate, you and me have travelled to Forest. Look, what it repeats itself.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps repeating ourselves. We went from Lloris, who was shocking with his feet at the end. Oh no, he was shocking with his feet all the time. But when we bought him, it was a sweeper keeper, not a play with your feet. And he was always suspect with his feet. Great shot stopper, but near the end his reflexes are gone. And now we've gone to another goalkeeper. Only Spurs will they buy, rather than buy a goalkeeper that's good with their hands and their feet, we'll buy a goalkeeper that's great with his hands, and we'll buy a goalkeeper that's great with their feet.
Who is this goalkeeper then that you want to sign?
Mate, I keep saying to you, mate, the goalkeeper for me is I'll go and get. I would go raid Brentford. I would have raided Liverpool for him and go get Kelleher.
Who, Kelleher?
I absolutely love that goalie. But we had I can't remember his name, Sim, the guy from Toronto, the youngster from Toronto. I can't remember his name.
Who called
And he
in?
said he was a keeper,
Nate.
and he was going on about the Brighton goalkeeper.
Verbruggen.
Yeah.
Which was a decent shout. And then he mentioned someone else. I can't remember.
But,
There's a few.
Brian, you know how you talk about how we're going to attract managers right now. How are we
Yep.
going to attract players?
Lord knows, mate. Lord knows. I don't even know how we attract players for the rest of January. Whether Frank's here
That's
or
what I'm
Frank's
talking
not.
about. I'm talking about January, yeah. Whether
Mate.
Frank's here or not, how do we attract a player to come and play for us?
All right, all together now. Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 ding.
Another day in paradise at the shit show that is Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the goalkeeper's definitely a problem, but I just think we've got so much bigger problems than the goalkeeper.
Mate, we have bigger problems, but the thing is, that goalkeeper is the most specialised position, and to me, the most important position to get right. The most important position. And how many points has Vicario cost us this season? Don't get me wrong, he showed his brilliance against Monaco, but there's more games where he causes issues than when he saves us. And I just think we need a better goalkeeper. Like I said, Sim and I were having this debate quite a lot yesterday. I'm one of those guys that do not think the squad is as good as people think it is. I know, listen, I agree with that we should be higher than where we are, but I don't think this squad is as good as it says it is.
Where do you think the level of this squad is? 1 to 20 in the Premier League.
But, mate, look, it's where you want to look at it. You look at players like just look at our midfield.
Yeah.
And I'll just say people like Sarr, Bergvall, Gray, Bentancur, Basuma.
Paulinia.
No,
Gallagher.
I'm just mentioning those five right now. Gray, I think, will become a very good player. But we're asking too much of him. Right now, he needs to mature, he needs to develop, but he's got no one to help him develop because there's no quality above him. Sarr's been here. Sarr is very good at certain things. But and then you look at Bergvall, who I think will be exceptional. But he, again, is so young, and we keep expecting these youngsters to be able to do everything. You look at the left-backs. We've got a doggy, and whenever Sousa sides, we've got a left-back who's completely injured all the time, we can't trust, who I think is a brilliant player when fit. And the way to replace him and cause competition is to sign a 19-year-old Brazilian who in the last 2 years has missed 17 games a season with injury. So we have 2 injury-prone left-backs. You got Spence and Porro that I want to see on the right, but Porro needs a rest desperately. And then don't even get me started on the front line. And the wingers. It's not as good as we think it is. If you look
so where is it, 1 to 20?
I'd say between 10 and 14th. Right now, if we're doing it. Look, forget value and how much they're on or whatever. And you've got to remember as well, like I've said before, and I think I said it, I don't know, it wasn't on this stream, what we've got to remember now, when we had Poch, we were trying to break into the top 4, and we did. But back then, it was the top 4. Now it's the top 6, 7. We're marked behind.
I don't think we're 10 to 14th. I think the true value is somewhere between 6th and 10th, I would say.
Mate, I would have loved to have thought we were 6th.
That's at the ceiling. That's at the ceiling.
Yeah, which we can't hit. We can't hit.
No way are we 10 to 14th. As a squad in a whole, as a whole.
Look at us, where are we now?
It's irrelevant where we are now because we don't have a manager that can raise the level of this squad or get them playing to their capabilities.
See, Ben, I love you dearly. I love you both like brothers, but I don't think we're anywhere near the 6th Premier League side. This is kind of where this is where I don't think it's 6th. If you were to say where is this squad in 2 years' time, when Gray's developed, Bergvall's developed, then you might have a stronger case. But we keep saying, oh, Sarr will be back soon. Sarr started off the season brilliantly, and Sarr started brilliantly for Ange, and then tailed off.
Yeah, but you look at the squad as a whole, not just the forward line. We've got some very good players there. We've got Cuti Romero, we've got Mickey van der Ven, Pedro Porro, Destiny Udogie, Jed Spence, we've got João Palhinha, Conor Gallagher, James Maddison, Dejan Kulusevski. These are all very, very good players.
Look, this is people can. This is where the fans see it how they want to see it. There's no right, there's no wrong. You see it as 6 to 10. I don't. I honestly don't. I really wish it was. But right now, for me, it just simply isn't. It simply isn't there. I really wanted it to be. I predicted we finished in the top 8 to 6 this season at the beginning of it. Completely wrong. Should we be up there when we've had
but you're saying you're wrong on the players and the manager when you said that.
No, I mean, that's what I predicted at the beginning of the season. With hopefully,
I'm saying you've admitted that you're wrong on the manager. You want him. You think he's not doing good enough, but you're saying you're also wrong on the players. You think you're wrong on both of them.
Yeah, I believe I might have been. Yeah, I'll own up to my errors, or I'll own them when I think I'm wrong. And I just don't think this team is as good as we think it is. I think a lot of poor recruiting and overpaying for players so we could get them on cheaper wages is now coming back to bite us in the arse.
But the thing is, right, you're saying the squad level is 10 to 14th. That means Thomas Frank has been doing his job, and he's been doing his job to a good standard if, he's getting them to perform at their own level. I think he's getting them to perform way below their level. We've been 10 to 14th the whole season.
Well, last couple months. We were third for quite a bit, weren't we?
Yeah, but I'm talking about, when there's enough football to judge.
It's, again, I just think we
So if he's getting them to perform at their level, then you may as well keep him. He's doing a decent job.
Well, no, like I said to you, the thing that's getting to me the most about it is his blindness in post-match interviews. I don't believe what he's saying. If he'd come out and said, "Do you know what? This is not wrong. Sorry, this is wrong. This isn't what I'm trying to train. This isn't the way I want to play. We are going to work morning, noon and night to get this right. I apologise to fans. This isn't Tottenham. We will get there. Have faith. Rather than attacking, then I'll be like, do you know what? There's more chance I'd probably be, do you know what? I understand what he's saying. At least he can see what's happening.
Yeah, but regardless of that, I don't want Frank sacked solely on what he's saying in press conferences. I want him sacked because of what we're seeing on the pitch.
That's a massive part of it for me.
So it's not what we're seeing on the pitch.
That's what I'm saying. It's exact. They're two different things. Like I said at the beginning, if the performances are poor and we're winning, like I always say, a win is a win. Get the points, and then you can say, okay, that performance needs to improve. But at least you've got 3 points in the bank. We're not getting 3 points in the bank. We're not getting points on the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at.
So is that more to the playing staff than the manager then? The results. The results are more on the playing staff than the manager for you.
It's all of it, mate. It's all of it. We're a doomed club. We're a cursed club. And it all gets, it all comes up, and I'll go back to it. It's the board. It's the board and the senior management.
I don't understand, Brian. I don't understand.
That's fine by me. Fine by me, Dan.
What's happened? Nothing's happened.
I think I'm getting baited.
Yeah. Where's this announcement? We need the announcement, Brian. You're supposed to come on here and push it through. You've been on for 50 minutes, nothing.
They can't even do that right.
I said last night on the fan show, you were everything wrong with this football club. It's all your fault.
Mate, do you know what?
I'm joking, bro. I love you.
Mate. Probably, fine. Fine.
What's this? We've got a Tottenham tears. Matt Law. Frank oversaw Tottenham training today amid doubts over the future as head coach. Nothing communicated to the players at this stage.
All right, we're not getting an announcement.
No announcement tonight.
That sounds like... Frank took training. Another training with Frank. How much damage is he doing to these players? Is it more crosses in from Porro? Is that what they're trading?
Yep.
Well, wait.
24. We need to get it to 50 crosses.
So how long's he got left in his contract? 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So let's work out, because Sammy just said 32. I think it'll be less than that. So how much would we have to pay him out?
8 million a year.
Yeah.
So 16. So
20 million.
Huh?
20 million? Around 20 million?
18.
Yeah. 18 million.
To sack him.
That's what we'll have to pay.
We fucked it. Why the fuck are we giving him 8 million a year?
Do you know what? Again, I'm gonna call it out because there's idiots in the chat again. I'm a Frank apologist. I've spent the whole of this stream in the last couple of weeks saying I want him gone. Your chat are brilliant. Your chat are brilliant. They really are. They come on. They talk bollocks. They get personal. They talk nonsense. They pick up what they want to hear. They say what they want to say. Listen to what they want to do when they're just absolute buffoons behind a keyboard. And that's all they are. That's all they are. A majority of your chat, unfortunately, boys.
David Ornstein via Instagram. From what we hear, many players are understandably dissatisfied. Well, thank you, David. Thank you, David.
Well.
Super chat from SRV saying, no, the manager you backed is crap. That's it, plain and simple. You shouldn't read Occam's razor to see that. And super chat from Joseph saying, directors are frauds. Over 3 years we spent $215 million on 11 kids that are under 22 when signed. Bergvall and Vuskovic are quality. What is the point of the academy? Could have spent that on 2 to 3 quality players. Super chat from Scorpion Fan for Life saying, told you boys, Lange won't sack him. Club is a joke.
Well, if it is which it is, £18 million to sack him.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot of
Raph,
money.
I'm not talking about you, buddy. So, Raph, I'm not talking about you, so don't you worry about you.
Don't worry about the negative commenters, Brian. They're just...
Oh, mate, they're just idiots. They're idiots. But it's time
just
people start
focus on
calling
us,
them.
Brian, why
Focus on us.
don't you just turn off the comments and don't read them?
Okay, so it enlightens me.
But we're being serious, though. 18 million.
Yeah.
They're not going to make a rash decision on that.
But it's
are
not
they?
rash at this point.
No, I know it's not rash, but they'll think of it as rash. We think it's not rash.
They shouldn't think of it as rash because people in the boardroom have been thinking about this for a while. It's not like just
But
after the West Ham game they're thinking. 18
million is basically like a signing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. A
And then
crap
the
signing.
new guy, we're going to have to give the same amount, probably, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's Alonso. We've really fucked this hard.
It's
This
what
is
they're
the
going to have
mess
to
we've
do. They
made.
have to bite the bullet. They have to bite the bullet and pay the money.
Pig's ear of this, haven't we?
Yeah.
Why? Whose smart idea was it to make Frank the third highest paid manager in the league?
That was who signs the checks at that point.
What the fuck are they thinking? What has he done?
The guys that draw up the contracts at that point would have been Daniel Levy.
What's he
and
done to
Vino.
get £8 million a year? I don't get that. It makes no sense. They've really backed themselves into a corner. In what world is Frank the guy you give £8 million a year to?
Madness.
To be fair, we were paying. I think Conte were paying 15 a year, but we weren't. The contracts weren't that long, if I remember rightly. I think his contract was up a few months before.
Yeah. They signed him on a 2-year, on a 1.5-year deal or something.
So we gave Frank a 3-year deal, made him the third highest paid manager in the league, and after 6 months, it's gone so bad. But we might have no choice but to keep him.
Yeah. Well, no, there's a choice. Of course, there's a choice. There's no. Come on, that's rubbish. No choice but to keep him.
I said we might have. I would sack him. I think it's worth the money.
Look, if he's here for Dortmund and we lose, which we probably would with him there, then they have to add that night. They have to add that night.
So I've just got a text.
He's got a text.
Got a text.
He's got a text.
Told by basically, apparently the board have decided to sack him. But when is this sacking coming?
What's Ornstein said exactly? Where's this thing on Instagram? Oh, is it?
We need the announcement now.
You know what will happen? You will, like you said, you will get in your car and it will happen.
Yeah, I know. I've got a
You will
wife
get-
and kids to get home to, man. I can't be waiting around all this. Can we have the announcement, please?
We'll see. We'll see. You might have to do a late night Tottenham on We Are Tottenham TV show again.
I can't believe he actually took training today.
But have we actually had pictures of him taking training? Has there been images of him actually on the training ground?
There's just reports saying he took training. We know for a fact that he was at the training ground today. We know that early. He got there. Apparently, he got there before Vinay,
Yeah.
and Vinay got there at 9 a.m.
So Gaza from Same Old Spurs podcast, big up to Gaza, just messaged me. He says, can we please discuss Porro cupping his ear to the equaliser and his all-round antics this year on and off the field? Get
Did he?
rid quick. I didn't notice it, but apparently that's what
I
he
saw
did.
him trying to G up the crowd after winning a corner like late in the game.
Oh, we know Porro's had a bit of an issue with the fans this season.
He had that thing at Bournemouth, didn't he?
Bournemouth, and there was also before that as well. He was telling Bergvall not to go round and clap the fans.
After the fans booed Vicario.
Yeah, Fulham.
Yeah.
The one thing I know about Porro is We all know his passion. We saw first season under Ange when he won a corner at Luton, how nuts he goes for winning a corner. He is a very, very passionate guy. And the one thing I will keep saying about Pedro Porro, who I love, is there's very few players in the Premier League, let alone Tottenham, who have played as many minutes as him, never ever get a rest. And then when his form dips, he doesn't get a rest, he doesn't get taken out, he just keeps playing and 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 playing. He gives everything for that badge. And playing and playing and playing, as we know, you're going to get caught out, your body's going to get shattered. And we've seen it when teams take advantage of Porro, whether it be his positional or the fact that they know he has played so many games compared to the others, and he's not at full throttle. So Pedro Porro gets a lot of abuse.
And also, he kind of has to play every game, but not has to, but he plays every game because he's bloody our only method of attack.
Yeah.
Without Porro, we're screwed because we know no one's chucking any crosses in the box.
But are we lucky that we signed a 19-year-old Brazilian who's been injured 17 times a year, or for 17 games, to help Destiny so Porro can have a rest and Spence can play?
Yeah.
I really wanted. I said before the game yesterday, I wanted Spence to start on the right wing right back yesterday.
I don't know why more isn't made out of the injury situation and Frank's kind of input into that, because we made a whole big hullabaloo and song and dance about Ange's impact in the injury situation last year, but he's overplayed and overworked Mohamed Kudus. He's out for 3 months. Same with Rodrigo Bentancur, out for 3 months. So like we criticised and bashed Ange over it, and I think it's only right to criticise and bash Frank over it as well.
No, that's true. No, mate, I can agree with that totally. If you're going to blame one for that and the same thing repeats itself, then it does need to be looked into.
And it's not like we didn't have alternative options. We had Paulinho sitting there, which he didn't want to use. He wanted to keep benching him. We had Pape Sarr sitting there before the AFCON as well. And on right when we had Brennan Johnson there, where he could have persisted with him. He had Wilson Odobert, which obviously he's forced to play right wing now. So it's not like we didn't have other players that we could have utilised.
Correct. And you look at it now, even though we were in Chester, obviously Ben Davies is now injured. Ben Davies has been available all season. And we saw
he's been injured. He's been injured, Ben Davies.
But not constantly, has he? He hasn't been out. He's been available.
I'm not sure if he has. I think he's been out for a large portion of the season, hasn't he, Sim?
At the beginning he was, and then I think there probably was a time where he was back but wasn't in the squad. But he hasn't been. I don't know how long he's been available for, but he did have an injury.
Not saying that he would have been the answer and things would have been different, but there was options, and we've seen against Sunderland and against Villa, he was very, very good.
It said his first bench appearance was PSG away.
Yeah, but Ben, was that because he was injured or he just wasn't put in the squad?
No, because he was injured.
So PSG away was November, yeah?
Yeah.
November.
So
he came on against Prague, came on against Forest.
Well, we're 2-0 down. We need to
wait. So the fact that it's not being communicated to the players, does that mean anything at this point? Maybe not. I remember in the Amazon documentary, didn't the players
had no clue?
They had no clue, did they? They found out on Sky Sports News, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I guess it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But he did. I mean, the fact that he took training means they had that discussion in the morning. V9 was in at 9 a.m. and they hadn't sacked him before that, did they? So he took training. So unless they decided let him take training and sack him after, or maybe they're sticking with him for now.
Do you think they spoke to the leadership team?
Huh?
Do you reckon they had a meeting with the leadership team?
Absolutely. There was definitely a meeting. But where? But
what are you reading there?
it's just Chris. I don't believe anything he says, but he says Vino has decided to give Frank more time.
Oh God.
But he's an AI ITK.
AI.
Maybe not AI, but I don't know. It's just whatever.
Vino needs to be spoken about as well.
Yeah, 100%. Vinay and Lang, mate. Vinay and Lang. What the hell are they doing?
What
at this
we've
football
learned
club?
is as of this morning, they hadn't made a decision. So they didn't come in saying this is what's happening. He's going. They're clearly deliberating. They've given him training. So have they made the decision yet? It sounds like they haven't, to be honest.
Mate, these board meetings are starting to sound like jury service.
Are they really coming to terms with the reality that it's going to take 18 million to sack him, and now they're bottling it?
Well, that would be very unique, wouldn't it?
It would.
He should have been bloody sacked at half time, mate. That's where it should have come.
Chris, yes, he does have 52,000 followers. But I don't know. I don't really believe anything he says. But then it doesn't mean it's not true.
Doesn't mean it's not true. Doesn't mean it is true.
No,
I think a lot of people are just like putting stuff out there, hoping that they're going to be right. You know what I mean?
The club will reevaluate after the Dortmund
twice a
game.
day, innit?
Exactly. 7:02, still no announcement. I don't think it's coming today, man.
I don't think we're getting an announcement today.
Go home. If it happens, you know you're going to go live at home.
We'll have to come back. We'll have to come back here. Needs must. But if you're getting that message from the players as well, we've already had leaks. We know the players. We've seen it, haven't we? About the players, they look dissatisfied. As I've said before, even last season we weren't getting leaks about players being dissatisfied or anything like that. So the fact that we're getting that now tells me it's just untenable. We all know it. It's nothing new, I'm saying, but we know this is a completely untenable situation. The thought of sticking with it at this point is ridiculous, I think.
And we go back. It all comes back to that night we sacked Maurizio Pochettino, man. What did we say? We fear that this is the biggest mistake the club has ever made.
Yeah.
And those words harp even truer today.
And we've never really...
We've never recovered from it.
We've never recovered from that situation.
Right. Absolutely bang on the money. And then, you know what? Even when Jose came in, and obviously everyone thought, we're going to win a trophy. This football club knew full well the MO of Jose Mourinho. He comes in, he spends hundreds of millions, gets the players he wants, wins the league, then goes, or wins everything and goes. And he comes to Tottenham and he gets Matt Doherty, Joe Rodon, who would have been right at the top of his shopping list, wouldn't they? It's never going to work.
Nothing screams painful rebuild than Matt Doherty and Joe Rodon.
Mate, we are 25 years into a rebuild.
Apparently, the Metro are reporting that Tottenham are showing concrete interest in Andoni Iraola.
Iraola?
Look, he plays great football, but look what he's doing at Bournemouth right now.
Yeah. The Spaniard has reportedly stated that he isn't against the move.
But it says we're yet to make a decision on Frank.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
I mean, what kind of message does this football club does not sacking him right now send out to managers that may be interested?
Yeah.
You can't even make a decision based on what we've seen this season. What chance do I have?
Fuck's sake.
What are we doing here, Brian?
Give us his head on a spike.
Honestly, I might have to start We Are Toronto at TV.
I don't think that'll go any better for you, Brian, the way they're going.
No, and if you're able to stand outside the ground in minus 30 degrees, you've got another thing coming.
At least you know with Toronto they can't get relegated.
Yeah, that's one positive thing. And the worst thing is, the year before I moved out there, a month before I moved out there, they won the MLS.
So you are the problem.
Since then, they've been maybe. I mean, who knows? I keep telling you, I keep having this dream where once Levy's gone, I wake up one day and Levy's bought Toronto FC. And then I will be protesting in -30.
God, what are we doing here, people?
Nothing. Nothing. You should go home, lads. You really should go home.
We should go home.
Go home and see your kids.
We've been live for 3 hours, 40 minutes, just waiting for this announcement.
Yep. And it looks like it will be tomorrow.
Poch was sacked at 38. 7:38, right?
No, actually, no, Spurs. They'll sack him on Tuesday at lunchtime before the game.
Yeah.
Is when they'll do it.
Nothing really.
Go home, boys. Go home.
Yeah, I think it's time to go home.
What do you reckon, chat? Is it happening? I don't think we're getting an announcement, it sounds like, today. If they're saying they haven't made a decision, then we're not getting an announcement.
If he's taken training today, man, surely.
Who knows? Maybe they watched training to see what the body language and everything was like. Who knows?
Someone says, breaking news, Alonso and Tottenham have both come to an agreement. They both agree that Tottenham is shite.
Yep.
If you don't laugh, you got to cry. Eh?
No shite.
I think they're waiting for Brian to get off before announcing it. They don't want to.
1 hour ago, apparently Paul Joyce says Curtis Jones has been attracting interest from Tottenham. Great.
Will that be the 7th midfielder that does the same thing? Bring back Alfie Devine.
Alfie Devine, Donley, Lancashire, they can't do much worse than what we're showing right now.
No, Mikey Moore, bring them all back.
Yeah.
Bring them all back. Listen, guys, you get home, man.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's that.
So,
Sammy, you need to get home too, mate. Sammy's in the background like, no.
I'll let you guys wrap up the stream, boys.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you later, Brian.
Hi,
Brian.
Well, it don't look like anything's happening today.
Looks like we've bottled it. I guess we do a quick update with what we've got.
Go on, then.
Training.
Take us through the update, Sim.
You're not going to say time for a Tottenham update?
No.
No?
That's your job now.
So, the latest...
No. Come on. Give it to us properly.
Well, I thought we're not doing intros today.
We'll start off with the Ali Gold Sai then, at least.
Hello, everyone. Me and Daniel here. I love you, Ali. That's a nice tribute to you, Ali, if you're watching. Matt Law is reporting Thomas Frank oversaw Tottenham training today amid doubts over his future as head coach. Nothing has been communicated to the players at this stage. And as well, they've been left in the dark about the future of the manager, and they're dark over the club's plans. And David Ornstein also reporting many players at Tottenham are dissatisfied with Thomas Frank, which is obviously horrible news for him if he hears that. But first of all, reaction to the fact that he took training this morning. We know Vino was in at 9 a.m. So we know that there was a meeting or there was some sort of something happening early in the day. So after, everyone expected this morning, meeting's going to happen. He'll be sacked. It will be announced. What has happened is meetings happened. He's taken training apparently as of normal. Nothing has been communicated to the players. Has there been a subsequent meeting post that meeting? I don't know. We don't know what's happened, but all we know is there's been a meeting and he's still taking training. So what does that mean?
Well, I was reading Paul O'Keefe's tweets before, and he suggested there was no meeting this morning. That's what he's suggesting, and he's suggesting that Vinay is usually at the training ground anyway. and his office is at the training ground.
So what does that mean? There wasn't even a meeting to decide, or that meeting hasn't happened yet?
Maybe the meeting hasn't happened. Maybe there hasn't been this whole big meeting that everyone's suggesting, and it's all a bit of jargon.
So are we feeling that all this talk is just noise, and we are backing him?
I really hope not. I don't know what it means. I don't know. I think everyone's in the dark. Nobody knows what's going on. Stone cold silence from the club. Fans are up in rage. Playing staff not happy.
I mean, we all expected today. We're here like, looking for an announcement. We're thinking there's going to be an announcement. Yeah, it looks as though, at least it's not going to happen today. It looks as though could he be in charge for the Dortmund game? Well, I guess we'll know for sure tomorrow if he's at the press conference or not. But it seems as though they're not making the decision right now. Either are they too scared to make the decision? Are they too scared that we've now learning that it's going to take £18 million to sack him? Are they bottling it given that reality facing them? Maybe they think, maybe yesterday they were putting out into the press the leaks are he's uncertain. Then they're thinking about meetings and all this stuff. And now the reality of an £18 million outlay to sack the manager that they've given a 3-year contract to and back to the heavens is actually staring them in the face. They're thinking, actually, are we really doing this? Is this the club we want to be?
They could be kind of discussing the fact or thinking about the fact that if they give it till the end of the season, they save themselves 4 million. But they don't really save themselves 4 million because they still need to pay it in wages, but they need to pay another manager on top of that as well. So maybe they're just trying to save themselves money and they're going to do it at the end of the season. But I really hope that's not the case, and I really hope that they just do it now, because we need serious change right here, right now. Otherwise, relegation becomes a serious possibility. So,
do you think if he does stay, when it comes to the game on Tuesday, do you think you're going to hear more Enoch out chants rather than you're getting sacked in the morning chants?
There are a few Enoch out chants trying to get breeded at Bournemouth. There was obviously small protest before the game yesterday. So I think the longer this goes on, the noise is ultimately going to grow and grow and grow. I don't know if we're going to hear it against Dortmund. I think you probably should hear it against Dortmund if there's no announcement before then, because that clearly doesn't signal to me that they're ready to put their money where their mouth is to make big changes to make this club get on the right path and the right track. But I think the main noise will be directed at Thomas Frank.
Yeah, and I think their voices, especially if the game goes badly again, their voices will definitely be known. But the big problem now with Frank as well, on top of that, is if it is true what Ornstein is saying, and Ornstein's obviously a very reliable journalist, saying is understand that there's a lot of players, or there are players who are, what did he say exactly? A lot of players, or players are dissatisfied? What did he say? He said many players that are at Tottenham are dissatisfied with Thomas Frank. So what I don't get, if that is true, we know that once you lose the players, once you lose the fans, that's one thing. That's also untenable. But once you lose the players, they're the only people who can turn it around for you, aren't they? They're the only people that, if you're going to start getting results, if you're going to back the manager to turn around the results and start getting things on the right path, you're going to need the players on board. That's the number one thing you're going to need is the players. If the players are dissatisfied with him and they don't want him in charge, then what is the point of even thinking about turning it around? There's one thing, the board, right, going against the fans, saying, look, the fans are unhappy, but once they see that Frank turns it around, then they'll be back on board, which is probably true. If Frank goes on a 5-game winning streak and we start playing great football, we turn it around, obviously we're going to get back on board probably. But it's the players. If you lose the players and you lose the dressing room,
it's done.
Then you can't even think about turning it around if they're not having you. So, and I'm sure if Ornstein can figure this out, surely the hierarchy can figure this out about the players.
It doesn't take a genius to work it out. If you lose the players, then your time here is done. Like there's no way back from that.
No. So what is the point of even attempting to give him more time?
I have no idea what the point is. Like we've been sitting here for 4 hours talking about how the statement should have been done already and should have come already. Many fans, the majority of fans, I would say, the vast majority of fans, I think, feel the same way. It seems as though the playing staff might even feel the same way now. So if everyone's like this is in unison, and it's probably literally just Vinay and Lange holding this all back.
Digging their heels in.
It's literally only them, because we're talking about other directors at board level have been wanting Frank to be sacked for a while. Paratici, we're led to believe he's left the club because of it as well. It's literally a couple of people just holding this back when everyone else
is saying change.
Yeah.
And so doesn't that would obviously add to the growing evidence of, first of all, the messiness at the top level, and also the incompetence from a footballing standpoint in this hierarchy. If they decide we're going to give this manager more time, and we're going to give this manager another game to prove himself, another week to prove himself, whatever it is, that would be even more evidence to suggest they have no idea what they're doing. If they've got a manager who the players don't want in charge and they want to give him more time to turn it around, what do they think is going to happen? He's had 6 months to get the players on side. And in fact, I think the players near the beginning, they were probably on board with it or a bit, or they were trying to give it a go.
For a few weeks, yeah.
For a few weeks, they were giving it a go. Well, look, at the beginning of the season, we were getting some results, and they were doing, they were.
The first time we saw any discontent was that the Chelsea game.
Yeah. Ever since then, it's gone seriously downhill fast, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it's not like the players from day one have been against the manager, but right now, it's 6 months in. If they're against him now and they're not having him, that ain't going to turn, unless Frank seriously somehow, I don't know what he could do, but if he just becomes a different guy, I don't know, if he starts playing different football, if he does all this stuff, but if he's not doing it after 6 months, he's not going to just start doing it overnight.
Done, man.
So I don't get why this announcement hasn't been made. If Ornstein can find out the players are not having him, I'm sure the hierarchy know it. It's not like it can't be a secret.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they can find out. They can talk to the players themselves. They own the players. They can talk to them. This can't be a secret that only journalists can find out. I'm sure the hierarchy can find out. They can talk to coaches. They can talk to whatever. So this isn't a secret. If Ornstein knows it, the hierarchy knows it, why have they not, in this morning, come into the boardroom and said, decision made, he's not taking training this morning, we're going in a different direction? I don't get it.
The reason is because they're incompetent. That's the only reason that they can be.
Are they scared? Are they scared to spend 18 million on a manager they think potentially could turn it around?
Well, if they do think that, they're seriously deluded. Because if he's lost the players and he's lost the whole of the South Stand and the whole of the stadium, there is no turning this around.
There's nothing to back. There's nothing.
All it is a toxic situation that's brewing and brewing and brewing. That's going to make it even more toxic and even more toxic. It's just going to get worse and worse. Right now, we're on a mud slope and we're going faster and faster down. You know what I mean? Getting more muddy and more muddy as we're going down it. So this decision should have come at half-time yesterday, but by God, it should have been by 9 a.m. this morning.
Wow. I'm shocked by the fact that it looks as though he's not being sacked at the moment. I don't know. That's what it seems at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe he's getting another game. I guess, look, we'll know tomorrow for sure. Tomorrow could be a blockbuster day. I do wonder if he is taking that press conference, what will be said, what will be asked, with all these reports swirling. It's going to be very hard for him to keep his cool, I would assume. But maybe he stays professional, maybe he says, no, he lies, says the players are buying in, there's been buying, all this kind of stuff. We're so close to turning it around, all this crap. Guess maybe he does that, or will there be chinks in the armour tomorrow with Frank in his presser if he has to answer some difficult questions?
If they give him the Dortmund game, that Dortmund game is going to be an absolute disaster. Well, it looks like it probably will be a disaster either way because of the players that we have available. But if he's the manager, it's going to be crazy toxic in the stadium. We're going to get, we could get absolutely battered in the game as well. Dortmund playing well. We're playing how we're playing. We've got a lack of playing staff available as well on the day. Who knows who we're going to play in defence and midfield? Look, if they do keep him, I guess the only saving grace is it's just for one more game.
Well, you say that.
Are they really going to keep him on the back of a hiding from Dortmund?
Fuck knows at this point. If they've kept him after this game, who knows?
Yeah.
Because the hiding from Dortmund's not going to be any less embarrassing than what we just suffered, is it?
True.
And they're keeping him after that. How have this decision not been made? But I also, I'm not. This isn't me having any sympathy for them because I don't. But I also get that they are stuck between a rock and a hard place. They get rid of him. They spend 18 million, and it's gonna be an absolute mess between now and the end of January to try and attract players. Blah blah blah. They keep him. The players are unhappy. They know they were playing shit football. No one wants to be part of what we're doing anyway. So if we're being honest, it is the choice between two shit sandwiches, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
But they can't keep him. That's just not, for me, that's just not an option right now. If he's lost the players, the fans are calling him, but every 60,000 fans calling sacked in the morning. If he's got that situation, that's just an untenable situation.
Put it this way, both situations are shit.
Yeah.
But out of which situation
is there a way forward?
Exactly. Could there not even a way forward, but a possible way forward? Yeah.
There's just nothing. You're running into a brick wall by keeping Frank. There's just nothing there. There's nothing there. So, but one of those shit sandwiches costs 18 million.
Yeah.
And
18 million well
that's
spent.
That's maybe why they're weighing it up. But I think there's only one decision to make here, guys. Make the decision.
Yeah.
If you're
be
watching,
decisive. You've got to be decisive, man.
We've had 40,000 people watching the stream over the course of 3 hours. If there's any Tottenham person in the high right, I know Daniel Levy used to have his lackeys watching all the streams, so I knew all the narratives. If there's anyone's watching, keeping tabs, make the decision. Man up. You know what decision you got to make. There's only one thing to do here. You got to get rid of him. If we know what's going on. The players are not having him. The fans are not having him. He's lost the two most important cores of a football club, and there's only one decision to make.
Absolutely spot on. But yeah, I think let's leave it there, people. We've been live for 4 hours, and I think we've spoken to the death about Thomas Frank. What more is there to say? What more is there to say, people? But we'll be here tomorrow to talk even more about the football club and the problems that we've got. Press conference tomorrow, training footage tomorrow.
Training, they're going to allow the journalists inside to record the training. We'll see. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. Whatever happens, whether he stays or goes, it's going to be an interesting day.
Yeah. And I think we might have to get in bright and early tomorrow because I think it could be a long old day tomorrow. So we'll be here, preview day for the Champions League. Second last Champions League game as well for the group stage, and it's an important game, people.
So
very
important
game.
Stop being so toxic.
Back him.
Stop being so toxic.
Can't do it anymore, people. I can't do it anymore. I've lost the will to back. Look, we'll see you all tomorrow. I want to thank you all for keeping with us this 4 hours. Still got 2,000 people watching after 2 hours, so big love to all of you. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.